sleep. They call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. Mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun.
Well, I've got 1 foot on the platform and the other foot on the train. I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain.
Well, there is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many young poor boy. And God, I know
I really like that version.
In the rising sun.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation. I have come, it's all losing my control.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Yo, man, what the hell was that all about, man? This is we're live from Jamaica, man. How you doing there? Yeah, you white people, yeah, man. You white people are from there where you're at, man. Yeah, man.
Where's your dreads?
See, I got one dread left, so that's all I got. It's kind of half-ass looking dread. It's back there, you know.
Yeah, I see that. It's half-ass. I thought
That's what it is, man. What it is. Back in the day, whoever wrote that to my pal talk, fuck you. Back in the day, that ponytail used to be that big around. Yeah, that's like that's what's called old age, man. When you
yes,
get to be
sir.
45, that shit happens.
Yes, sir, it does.
Yes,
I tell you what, dude, if I get like a buzz cut or something, I look like a monk because I got one big ass bald spot on the top of my head. Yeah.
I thought about just shaving all mine off and being done with it.
You can't because it grows back so damn fast.
It's man, just wax that shit. Or get some of that nair and put on there.
Oh, hell no.
Be gone. You be bald with the shiny.
I got a
bald.
story about nair. We were working, and we had this guy, I don't know what kind of drugs he was taking. He was a meat wrapper. And he came in and he was hurting. And I said, what the hell? This is a true story. I said, what the hell's wrong with you? What do you mean, man? I said, what the hell? You're just getting fidgety and shit. And you know what he did, Joe? He took a bottle of Nair, sprayed it all over his chest. Well,
he's a dumbass.
Oh, what a dumbass he was. Oh, my God.
Get that shit on, get that stuff off of there, people.
Oh, man. That stuff will kill you. I think I'd rather get, one of them wax jobs instead of getting a Nair job. You know what I mean? To be honest.
I'm not hairy enough to worry about it, so fuck it. It's oh no, I got a good friend of mine. His name was Tony, he's an Italian guy. And when we were 15, this some bitch had more hair than most people would get in a lifetime. Big old curly fro, and then man, he'd take his shirt off. It was like gorilla guy. He was seriously hairy, man. And
man, I cannot deal with
legs were like that. I was like, damn, man. That's why I used to call him Gorilla Man. And I was like, dude, you're ridiculous. What the hell? You like a throwback or something?
You ain't lying.
But I mean, his whole family, like, they just hairy SOBs, healthy guys and all. But well, it's fine on the women unless you don't like hairy legs, and that could be.
Well, I'm not going to say that on to 4 million viewers or to whatever we.
I'll say it. Shave your damn legs, women. I want to feel no scratch.
I tell you what happened. I might as well come out and be honest with you. This is what grossed me out. I had a traumatic experience when I was in Spain. I was in Palma de Mallorca. We pulled in, decided to go to the beach, right? So I saw this real sexy lady, topless, laying down. I'm like, I gotta go check her out, dude. I get up there. She had a bottom on, but you couldn't see the bottom. and she had more hair on her armpits than you can ever imagine. And I got traumatized. I really did, dude. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. And it traumatized me. It did.
What? It's for an American, that's just nasty stuff. I remember I was going to school up in the city. And a friend of mine's with some Germans, his mom came to pick him up. You know, she's wearing pantyhose, but you could see the hair was smashed between the pantyhose and her leg. I mean, it was thick. I was thinking, oh my God, come on. And I like the way a lady's skin feels to my hand when I'm rubbing her leg. So I wouldn't want all that hairy shit. But you know, we were raised that way. It's different. You know, it's not like for thousands of years women didn't run around with hairy legs because they did. Right. So it's just because we're American pigs. That's right.
We're American pigs, but I
want my women clean shaven.
But you know what? They probably say the same thing about men too.
Yeah, well, that's true and not true. So some women like a guy with a beard, some don't. Some it's a thing. They got some that like him, some don't. Some like short hair, some like long hair, some like bald headed guys. There's no accounting for taste, but what's it? Well, no, Jeffrey.
41.
Probably just a guess. No, so that was just low, dude. You can't even say that stuff. I'm sorry, I gotta stop laughing.
Why?
No, actually, no. We're going to be talking about Dan, because I can't ever say his name correctly. He was the former. Yeah, he was number 2 with the FBI when Cash Patel took over. He was number 2. Dan Bashogo. He hosts a show on Fox. Now, I'll get you the correct spelling of his name in a minute. But so this is what's weird about all this. About a year ago, we were talking about this on the other show we host, News on the Flip Side. And we got to discussing. Tulsi Gabbard came out with some seriously damning evidence against Barack Obama. Barack Obama. What's his name? Comey and Brennan. So Brennan's was the head of the CIA. Comey's the head of the FBI, and of course, Obama's president of the United States. Now, first off, these 3 guys should be only having limited time together to start off with, especially the 3 of them. I mean, that usually some kind of terrorist act going on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't even think there was that much interaction when they blew up the Twin Towers. I mean, that's just crazy. So first we find out Hillary Clinton pays for this dossier. Of course, nobody knew that at the time, but she did so. She sends this over to Comey, who sends it to Brennan, and they all get together and they're looking at this thing. So now we've got the emails between groups. So we've got the emails that, you know, between Brennan and Obama and Comey. So they got all these emails now so they could see what they were saying. So in the beginning, FBI is like, well, look, I mean, this is a paid for dossier. What do you want us to do with this? You know, come on, how much of this can be real? And then Brennan signs off and goes, well, you know, it kind of does got that feel. And then Obama tells him, well, you need to find something in this Russia collusion stuff. So where this should have been shot down like week 2 or week 3, now it's picked up. And now the head of the CIA has been told to find something. So he immediately abuses his authority by going and getting FISA warrants to phone tap not just Donald Trump and Trump Towers and his whole bunch. Everybody got wiretapped. And remember when he was telling everybody on TV, oh no, and they're going, oh no, it's not true. It's not what's going on. Of course, now we know it's absolutely true. But it also tells you how sad America is that it took us 4, 8, almost 9 years just to learn what the truth is. We haven't even got to what the consequences are yet. Mm-hmm. We're just getting to what the damn truth is. So now we know that this went on. What makes it worse is not the fact that Obama got involved in the beginning. He was president, and if there was Russian collusion, he needed to know about it. Now we find out that if the Russians helped anybody, it was going to be Hillary because they thought Hillary would be best for Russia. Remember, she's the one that did the Russia 1 deal with them and gave them 20% of our freaking uranium stock. Yeah, that was, you got to wonder about that all the way around. Yeah, I think they made $150 million donation to her campaign, not her campaign, her foundation. I don't know, Jimmy, it might not have been that much, but it was a lot. It was a lot of damn money that went there. But regardless, you know, that's who, if anybody should have been looking for Russia, it should have been her. But that's not what they were interested in. So they're still trying to see Trump. Remember, Schumer went on TV 100 times on MSN, CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC saying, "Oh, we got him. We got the evidence now. He's done. He's over with. We've got him." And this was after he was elected. Remember this.
Right.
He had been duly elected now. And at this point, Obama knew this case was bogus. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But still, he ordered Brennan and them to keep going. That's treason.
Yeah,
that's trying to bring down a sitting president.
He's going to get indicted, right?
So the other problem here is that Jenny, there's no statute of limitations on treason. Yeah, so anything that we're talking about here, there is no statute of limitations on. And so now you got a problem. Do you go after an ex-president? Or do you go after Comey and then Brennan and see if Brennan's willing to throw himself on his sword for Obama, meaning that no, Obama didn't tell me to do this. I did this on my own. Because the deed is done. We know the deed is done now. So we know somebody did this. And it's only these three people that could have pulled this off. So which one is it? Well, it's all three of them. But, you know, one can sacrifice himself just like Ollie North. Yeah, he did for Reagan. He threw himself on a sword for Reagan. Even though he only ended up getting like 3 years and got a good book deal out of it, he still did it because Reagan was in trouble. And Ollie said, no, I'll take the time. And that was it. So will this guy do this? This is a Democrat. I don't know. This guy looks a little shady. Will he sacrifice himself for Obama? That's anybody's going. I would hope so, but it doesn't mean for sure. And then there's the other problem if he doesn't. And he turns on Obama and starts telling the world all of this stuff. Then what do we do? Do we arrest a president?
Can you imagine how fast Brennan would be 6 feet under? He'd be another Jimmy Hoffa.
Maybe if Trump and them didn't protect him. So they might put him in a cell somewhere where you can't get to his ass. But it doesn't matter. Once he gives the initial statement anyway, it doesn't matter what happens to him. You know, he's already said his piece, so the testimony part's over with.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know, Jack. Arresting a president seems to be iffy stuff to me. Whether you like Obama or you don't like Obama, he's got enough people that like him. It's going to cause a problem in our country. I mean, if he's guilty, he's guilty, but you're going to have to damn well prove he's guilty. And it can be no half-ass he's guilty. Yeah, it'll take Brett turn. If Brett
would say that Christine Nome found something on him.
I don't know. Something's going on, and it sure is taking a long time for all this to come to fruition, but hopefully they'll get this out there. Jack, I'd be surprised if anybody goes to jail. I've been watching Republicans and Democrats dance around each other committing crimes for 40 years, and ain't nobody went to fucking jail. Excuse my language, but they haven't.
Why is that, Joe? Why do you think?
Power and money. Power talks and bullshit walks. Money's great, but power's even better. Yeah, somebody says you can't have one without the other. Well, no, you can have power without money. Believe it or not, you surely can. Especially in politics.
Well,
from
what it looks like, that the Democrats don't have a pot to piss in, dude.
Well, they got issues. I mean, they've got hardcore issues. No, Jack. So right now, depending on what polls you look at, Trump's anywhere from 38% to 44% approval rating. None of which is horrible, but when you look at the polls to companies like Yahoo, Harris, those are very, very liberal companies. So you already know what they are. So I own APC, which is an American polling company. And we do quarterly polls, always have been for about 2 decades now. And we're usually pretty precise because the minimum poll we'll make public is 10,000. Sometimes these polls we have are over 100,000 people on them. So they're much more accurate than your 1,000-person poll taken in Boston saying that that 70% of respondents don't like Trump. Well, that's not surprising. It's in Boston. Let's be honest about it.
Now, does NPR still have a poll? Because I know that
NPR does.
I thought they got no more money from the government.
They don't. Well, that's still in court, but regardless, I think they've got outside funding. So they're a pretty big company with a lot of reach, and Very, very liberal. And if they get off the public tit, then they can say whatever they want. The only reason they're in trouble right now is because they were taking money from the government and only saying one side. That's what's got them in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's costing them their money. So you have to be bipartisan. You have to give equal time to the other party. And it's not just the Republican and Democrats, but to the centrist party and to the independents. You got to give them equal time too. So things are changing. Jesse, the Democrats are in trouble for the fact that when you hear things like NBC say or CNN say, well, they got a 10-point advantage going into midterms, when just 4 months ago they were minus 27 points. Well, that's a 40-point turnaround. That's absolute and total bullshit is what that is.
Yeah, that is. It's impossible.
So the current standing of the Democratic Party, the people running for Congress, is 16%. That's where they are. And even at Trump's worst, he's 38%. So that's double what the Democrats are. So every time you hear him, oh, Trump's doing this, the Democrats are doing better, but they're not. When you look at their actual polling numbers, they're getting worse, not better. And when you look at how many people have left the party and that are leaving the party or moving out of blue states for red states, it's bad. They're hemorrhaging. If something doesn't change in the next 5 years, there's not going to be a Democratic Party, not at least in the ones that it used to be. It'll be a liberal or a progressive party, and you'll have a spinoff party. Well, the what did they call themselves? Not mega. The Tea Party was almost a spinoff party of the Republicans. It almost spun off.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was trying like hell to. It just didn't have the oomph. Jack, that's not true. Democrats didn't vote to save blacks. Democrats voted to keep them in shackles. Yes, you mean so when... All right, I'll give you the history if you wanted. So way back in the day, this guy Abraham Lincoln was alive. And they called them Southerncrats because the Democrats were in the South, not like it is today where the Republicans are. They owned the plantations. In case you didn't know that, yes, the Democrats are the ones that own the plantations and the slaves. Just thought I'd clarify for you. So right off the bat, the Republican Party was founded to be the party that freed slavery. Oh, yes. The party that everybody wants to hate on was a party that was made to free slavery. So first thing it did was freed slavery, caused all kind of ruckus and freed the slaves. So then as it became time to give blacks, well, first off, they decided there was going to be reparations. So they settled on 40 acres of mule, clothes, seeds, and hand tools. All of that was to be given to them. That was part of the reparations. And that went on for a couple of years, and then the Democrats took control and took that away. So anytime you talk about reparations, you need to look at the Democratic Party and say, where's my money? Because everybody else was doing it. This is so right off the bat, you have to stop and think, oh, okay, well, wait a minute. And then it gets worse, though. So then the Democrats decided to vote against 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th Amendment. That was the amendment that allowed them to be citizens, to become citizens, gave them the ability to vote and other essential rights of being an American in this country. Democrats voted against every one. Then, because that wasn't enough, they couldn't stop it. The Democrats instituted Jim Crow and created the Ku Klux Klan. And yet blacks still vote for him even today. You have to wonder, what the hell's wrong with you? This party has been against blacks from day one. If you're a black person alive today and you actually know the history of your party, you should be going, what the fuck am I doing anywhere around this? And they're bad. They're more racist today than they used to be.
You know what, Joe? I have seen a lot of black people, going on TikTok and stuff like that, saying that they renounced the Democratic Party and that they were blind and they...
a lot of them are. And it's about 25% now that I left the party. But you have to ask yourself why. And then but it's worse questions that you have to ask. Before blacks became Democrats, when they were Republicans, they had the black stock market, which was doing really well. The average black family, 87% of men were living in the home. 87%, which is like only 16% today. So it's a complete flip-flop. So under the Republicans, they made more money. They had more rights. And their children were growing and their businesses would prosper. And they became Democrat-controlled and have been living inside the inner cities now for, 80 years. with very little progress at all, with still a third of them on social programs, with no help from the party that's supposed to represent them. So I just have to think of myself and go, what the fuck? What is wrong? How can you not see this? But, and it is something I've been talking about a lot lately, that a lot of people I know, a lot of blacks I know, have stopped calling themselves African American, which is something I've been bitching about for 20 years.
Yep.
And started calling themselves Americans like the rest of us. Jenny, okay, so I would be Italian, Scottish, Welsh, English American. Well, I've had my DNA done. Yes. That would just sound stupid.
I would be considered an Irish, Polish American.
And the only way I would say it anyway, and I'd always say it this way, I would say I'm an American of Italian descent.
Yes, me too.
But I'm not Italian American. Yes, no, I'm an American first, and then the other part second.
Yes, Irish descent.
Black people who are now part of the country realize, well, yeah, I am an American. I'm just a person. Really doesn't matter what my skin color is, as long as I get a fair shake at everything. Now the world's changing, but you're still going to have the wines. And no, it don't matter what color they are or even what sex they are. You're just going to have a group of them. Unfortunately, that's the Democrats today. Well, there was two think tanks that came out and said that. They said if the party was allowed to continue with its current thoughts and designs, that America would fall within 50 years and the rest of the world would fall within 30.
Do you want to know, if our listeners know about history too, that there were a lot of black slave owners too?
Yes, there were. Well, it's like today I got into an argument with a black history professor. So he's going on. He said that blacks are owed quadrillions of dollars in reparations. First off, my first question was, first off, from who? Secondly, why? I said, we know reparations were paid in the beginning. The only reason there wasn't any more paid out was because of the Democrats. So if you got a bitch, you need to bitch at them and not the rest of us. I mean, that's right off the bat. Secondly, before we even talk about reparations, or we're going to give reparations to all these Union soldiers' families since they died, and no telling what the outcome was for their family because they lost their father or brother or uncle, whoever that maintained that family. No telling what kind of irreparable harm you did to that whole family line all the way up to today.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to talk about that, you got to talk about giving them that. But more importantly is Americans didn't go out and capture slaves. Americans went out and bought slaves. They bought them from the Zulu, and they bought them from the people in the Middle East and places like that also traded in Hispanic, Middle Eastern, and white slavery.
All that went on. Look at the Irish, Joe. They were slaves.
Well, a lot of people were slaves, so it's not exclusive to any one race. But when it comes to American slaves were purchased by Democrats mostly from the Zulu tribes of Africa, because they would capture them, enslave them, and then sell them as slaves. And then the Democrats would go buy them and bring them to the South and to any other slave states and put them to work, along with other ones that were shipped into the Caribbean and places like that. So don't you think the person who captured you and sold you should be the one that pays reparations?
I agree.
Yeah, they don't want to do that because the Zulu don't have any damn money. That's the whole point. What do you think they want? And what they expect? Okay, so who's going to fund this bill? I mean, no one in my family owned slaves, ever. In my entire family history, going all the way back into Europe, nobody in my family owned slaves. So why in the hell would I be paying reparations for anything? Matter of fact, in the United States, I think it was less than 3% of the population owned slaves, and 0.5% of that were black people. Yes, blacks owned slaves. I know it's a bitch when the truth comes out, don't it? Yeah. And what gets me even more, free blacks owned slaves. Blacks who were slaves that were freed actually owned slaves.
Yeah.
So don't try to take the righteous bullshit approach, because that's not how this works. But again, none of them are who brought any slaves here. That came directly from the people in Africa. So that's who sold you. That's where you should be looking for money from. And if not, you should be looking at the old democratic families from the plantations and be looking to get money from them, like the Jews did from Volkswagen and from Mercedes-Benz. for the World War II atrocities for making them slaves. But you can't expect the American people to pay reparations. That's just, you can't even expect that. That's right off the bat. That's being, well, several different things.
Well, look at Malcolm X. He hated the Democratic Party. He always talked about it, how bad they were.
Yeah. Nah, Jimmy. I know a lot of black people. Got a lot of black friends.
So do I.
Got black hosts, got black employees. Just because where I come from, black doesn't mean anything. It's like being gay. It doesn't mean anything. I'm from New Orleans, dude. Half the city's black. Nobody gives a shit what color you are, where I come from. Nobody cares.
Right, especially up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we just don't think in color at all. We don't worry about your color. We like to party. Everybody likes to have a good time. Everybody likes to hang out and eat. Nobody wants no shit. No, and it's a much more laid back atmosphere. Because racism is alive, but it's not really alive in the South. It's more alive in the North.
Not where I live. Especially
in some northeastern places, it's really bad. Chicago's, from what I hear, is the worst right now. Well, I got personal friends that live in Chicago that are moving back to New Orleans, which is not exactly a safe city, because they say it's way less violent there than it is in Chicago. So most people don't even realize, but more people die in Chicago than died in Baghdad all last month. In one weekend, more people died than everybody who died in Baghdad last month. Baghdad people.
Wow. And
in Tehran, the amount of people we killed still doesn't total what they're killing in the States on their own. No. Matter of fact, you can go look for yourselves. There's a list, top 100 most dangerous cities in the world. U.S. has 5 in the top 12.
Wow. That would be what, Illinois?
There's a couple of them. And Chicago made the list. I think New Orleans made the list, but New Orleans was like 36, but it made the list. There was a bunch all together though. I think there was like 30 cities in the list that were American. America's a dangerous place if you live in a blue city. What do you mean Atlanta? Atlanta is a blue city. Georgia is a red state. Atlanta is a blue city. Just like Louisiana is a red state, but New Orleans is a blue city. Most big cities are going to be blue. Because blue people think alike. They like to be depressed and nasty and dirty and live on top of each other and have roaches and rats and all kind of nasty stuff. Probably outside eating the neighbor's cats and shit. No, I'm kidding about the cats, but still, I've lived in the city. I know what it's like to live in a city. Well, you mean New Orleans? I'm going to get New Orleans. I bring my gun. If I'm traveling New Orleans and I'm getting out the car, my gun's with me. One of them are with me anyway. Sometimes it's the big one, sometimes it's the little one, but somebody's traveling with me. Well, mostly the locals will leave me alone because I look like I'm a crazy local, but every now and then you get people who from out of state that want to set up what they think are tourists. Yeah. Well, like in the city. So if you're downtown in the summertime in the French Quarter hanging out, most everybody down there, if you're local, will be wearing jeans and tennis shoes or something like that. When you start seeing people around in flip-flops and shorts and stuff, those aren't locals because nobody wants that dirty, nasty, 300-year-old nasty water on their feet. No telling what's brewing down in that shit that's been on Bourbon Street for all that time. Yeah. Well, out-of-towners think they can just come down and basically get naked and walk around on Bourbon Street, which sometimes they won't tell you anything about, but sometimes they will. I wouldn't advise going bottomless. Yeah, I think they'll put you in jail for that one.
Can I ask you a question about New Orleans? Okay. Why is New Orleans like the capital of vampire land down there?
Because that's where the vampires came from Europe. That's where they moved to.
They moved there, or did they? Or did
yeah,
the boat
came
that
there.
they came over?
They came over. They came over. They were living somewhere in Europe. A lot of people seem to think they were living in Paris, but wherever they were, some people think they were in Germany. Regardless, wherever they were in Europe. And New Orleans was the first city they really settled. They actually really the only city they settled. They visit other cities. You can hear in different different vampire chronicles and stuff, you hear people talking about it. Even the local vampire clubs will tell you about it. But most of them come back to New Orleans. Something about the swamp, the soil, they feel protected here. Maybe it's the voodoo, because voodoo is technically a real religion in Louisiana. So,
yeah, but that isn't voodoo is what almost half Christianity, isn't it?
It's half Christian, half Haitian. That's probably not quite that anymore. It's probably got some other stuff in it now too. But oh yeah, they use a lot of Christian stuff. They use the crucifix and stuff like that. It's but there's no telling. They just been down here like so Antoine's is what 170-year-old restaurant, and when you walk into Antoine's and you look to the left wall, it's a brick hall going down to the back courtyard to where the restaurant is, and you'll see these pictures of Antoine's, the guys who ran the restaurant or owned the restaurant prior, each generation. They look exactly the same. They're just in different clothes. I mean, it looks exactly the same fucking person. And Anne Rice said that she had met him and he was definitely a vampire. And then they had introduced him to other vampires. It's just something about two that they can stroll through, meet people, lightly hypnotize them and bite them in places and suck enough blood to whatever drugs or alcohol the person's on that they can share that buzz. And he said for some reason in New Orleans, nobody reports it. Oh, a vampire bit me in the thigh. Some guy's going, yeah, sure, bitch. You know you wanted that. Get the fuck out of here. You've been reading too many Anne Rice movies, man. Books.
Have you ever met her?
At 2 parties. At 2 of their parties. They do the they did the Anne Rice file. She used to have a nunnery, like a hatchery. She had a whatever they call it, like a little mini convent thing on St. Charles. Beautiful place. And she used to do the All Hallows Eve party there. So the dungeon did an All Hallows Eve party. She did an All Hallows Eve party. And the vampires, 2 of the big covenants, did All Hallows Eve party. I remember there's an interview somewhere on this network. That's actually more than one, but there's one really good one. I'm interviewing the guy and the girl who runs the vampire group in New Orleans, right? And this is on All Hallows Eve. I'm doing a live broadcast with them. Oh man, they was lit, blood all over the place. I'm surprised there might not have been some crimes going on up in that place, man. It was wild.
Really?
Oh
Really?
man, it was crazy, yeah. And they're definitely into their blood. No, Denise, they drink real blood. They don't. Mainly, so they have donors inside their groups that are non-vampires that donate blood that they keep refrigerated for them to drink.
But don't they have to sign consent forms?
Nobody knows any about this. These are all inside these groups and clubs. And there's no consent forms. There ain't none of that shit.
I thought there was.
I don't think most of them even care. Sounds like most of them are pretty much falling into it deep enough that none of that really matters.
Well, can I ask you this question? Can I ask you this question? Are there a bunch of young kids in the vampire group? Or are they
not as young as you would think? Most people think they're going to be like little groupie 18, 20 something. These are more 30-ish and up type people.
More respectable, right?
Well, sometimes more respectable, but definitely more encourageable and more confident in what they're doing. Okay. They're some of them. It just depends what walk of life they're from. Because you have what you would consider the snotty, toddy vampires. You got the ones where I guess basically would have been street vampires that have worked their way up and stuff. So, but they're telling you if you're in the French Quarter and it's after 2 a.m. and you see someone walking on the street, odds are it's a vampire. It's more likely that you're seeing a vampire than another person that time of morning in the French Quarter. I was like, well, you know what? Bullets fuck them up too. Might not kill them, but it's just slow their ass down. Not to me get in the car. You know what? I got some silver rounds too. That might actually stop them.
That would be interesting. Why don't you take me down there after 2 o'clock? And I just want to see it for myself, dude.
Well, you can see that. And you know what else is interesting is right there on Actually, we're going to talk about that more in a minute, Jenny. So right there in Jackson Square at the St. Louis Cathedral, you've got the two side pieces of it, or the two walkways that go between the church and the other buildings. Well, one of them is where they used to sell the slaves, buy the slaves, sell the slaves, do a lot of trading. A lot of things were traded and sold. There, a lot of barter going on. But the next one over is where they used to hang the slaves or anybody that was, well, I guess being bad. They also had a lot of food and drink in that place, that area too. So I guess you could sit down, have lunch, and watch somebody get their neck snapped. The old world was definitely a different place, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Well, I'm going to have some lunch here with Jimmy Bob and watch him snap this guy's neck. Getting back to what we're talking about, so there's been times down there. Perfect example. We're out one night there was a group of us, 8 or 9 people. We've all been drinking all night. It's about 3:30 in the morning, and we're headed back towards the river from Bourbon Street. So we're headed up through the quarter, cutting through the middle of it, and going to go right through the middle of Jackson Square. So we're walking through, and we go walk down the walkway, and there's people out having like early morning, late dinners or early morning breakfasts, or whatever. It's like 3:30 in the morning. They're just eating. God knows what they're eating, but because you get food 24 hours a day in the quarter. So, they're out there eating, and we're watching them, and we look ahead, and there's some people. I think it was like 3 women in these big antebellum gowns. I mean, huge things, man. And they're messing around and squatting around and picking up their dresses and just goofing around. And I'm looking over at the people eating, and they're looking at them. We're all looking at each other like, well, these are just goofballs. And where'd they come from? We really wasn't paying that much attention. They just were there. And we're walking up on them. And one of the guys got up. I guess he was going to take a picture of them in their dresses. And they just kind of faded out.
Really?
Just faded out. Just was like we walked through the moment. There seems to be a lot of those in the French Quarter. A lot.
Interesting. That's
you just be walking along like by the bottom of the teacup at this place. They've been reading tarot cards there for 200 years. It's there's always a lot of weird energy in front of this place. A lot of strange stuff that goes on. It is, but I know, Jesse. So getting back to what we were talking about a little while ago, it does look like Comey's probably being indicted again. It also looks like they're going to go after Brennan. Kelsey wants to put all of them in jail. Whether she can do it, I don't know. She's got 2.5 years to figure it out. And if she can pull it off, she can pull it off. It'll be easier while they have control of the House and Senate, but if they lose it, they can still do it, though. It might take a little more effort, but they can still do it. So look at it this way, Mike. If they decide to impeach Trump if they get the House back and they try to impeach him, which we already know it doesn't matter because you got to have 2/3 of the votes to get rid of him, and you're not going to get that. So all this means is they're going to waste a bunch of money and look like a bunch of idiots and not get anything done. And then in 2028, because things won't have not been fixed because they, as usual, the Democrats didn't fix them, they'll lose in a landslide again. And I'm not convinced they're going to win in a big landslide like they're saying there. I think that's more talk than that is evidence, because most of the evidence I've seen suggests this is going to be way tighter than they think it is. Hey, Gary, how you doing? I think it's going to be much tighter. So I watched the CNN polls the other day. They had the Democrat Party up by 10%, a 10% favorite going into midterms, right? But Vegas has them at -7%. So now let's just think about this for a minute. We do the polls every year. Like I said, I own APC, so every quarter we put out polls. But more importantly, we do the polls for election years 18 months in advance. We start doing polls. So we're really good at doing polls.
Yep.
And what we noticed over the years is you've always got your pulling polls. And in other words, you've got your left-leaning polls, your right-leaning polls, and then you have some polls that are down the middle. And what you're trying to do is first off find polls that are more than 1,000 people. Polls that were not taken like at a Boston mall or in a New York, grocery store or something like that, or in a borough, places where there's going to be chances to be equal. Because a lot of the polls you see are going to be taken in places where the vote's going to be like 60-40 or 70-30. Both sides are guilty of this, but I got to give the right credit. They're more honest than the left is when it comes to polling, and you can see that by their poll numbers are usually closer to the truth. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is when we were going through the last election, Joe Biden most of the time was ahead of Trump, even though in reality Trump was ahead of him, but the polls kept saying he weren't. But we worked them through every week and showed you why that Trump was at least 5 points ahead, and he won by more than that. Do you really want to trust when CNN tells you somebody's 10 points ahead? Because remember, they said Harris was going to win by 8. Harris lost.
Yeah. Okay, Carrie just asked you a question, dude.
Let me see what we got. Oh, it happens down there. Most paranormal people think it's some type of impressions, like an event that's left behind. No, they're not always scary either. Sometimes they're just a moment of time. Well, you got to remember the French Quarter has been 24 hours a day, 7 days a week since its existence for over 300 years. Well, more like 500 years. So, and there's a lot of stuff goes on there. A lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff, but a lot of stuff goes on. And plus, the damn thing's burnt to the ground twice that I know of. It started out with one influence, and now it has a different influence. But it's an interesting place to live. But the city is considered the most haunted city in the United States. The only one that even comes a close second is St. Augustine. Savannah? Yeah, Savannah's up there too, but Savannah, St. Augustine, Florida, as they consider in the top 5. Actually, the top 5 most haunted places in the freaking country are in the South. Figure that one out. They should, New York's been around a long time, and it may not be as old as some of the southern cities, but it's old. Jimmy Lee, the oldest city in the United States is St. Augustine, Florida. I think it's like 630 years old.
St. Augustine's creepy, man.
Well, they got them weird streets too, because they're only like this wide. It feels like you're like being squished through the street when you're walking through them.
Weren't they like that down in New Orleans too?
New Orleans was different. New Orleans was buildings. It wasn't walls. And it was just, so New Orleans was weird. It had a French and Spanish and French Spanish design, so it's more open. But the real thing is that's cool is the courtyards used to be in front. Now the courtyards are in the middle, so you don't see them from outside. Like you fly over the French Quarter, there are courtyards and pools all throughout the French Quarter. You can't see them though because they're in the middle of the properties in the courtyards. So you usually have a walkway or a driveway you go through and you get inside, and it's always weirder than it looks because people think it's like normal houses where each house is next to each other, but it's more like an interest what houses or one house wrapping around everything. Much different design. It's cool, guys. It's a fun place to live, and it's a very haunted place to live. It's most people tell you if you spend any time in the Quarter at night, you're going to see stuff you can't explain fairly quickly. It's part of living in the Quarter.
Another question from Carrie: does New Orleans have Tartarian structures?
I don't know. I'd have to check. In some ways, I would say yes, but then not necessarily because it has this weird. How can I explain it? So most cities are built like this. New Orleans is built like this. So it's a weird design to start off with. It wraps around. It doesn't go on a grid. It goes around like this. And then what's worse is on the northern part of the city is the lake. So you're bordered. And at the southern part of the city is the river. Now, the widest point between the river and the lake is only 6 miles or 7 miles. That's it. So, and all that land is where New Orleans and Metairie and all that is. So there's a lake bordering on the southern side and a river bordering on the northern side. I mean, on the southern side and then the lake on the northern side. But there's a swamp on the eastern side with another swamp on the western side.
Seriously?
Seriously, oh, wow. You're completely surrounded by water. So New Orleans is an island in itself. It always has been. And when we were kids growing up, it used to be crisscrossed with all these canals. It looked like Venice. They filled in most of them now because it's well, they put it in piping and then they cover them because it acts more like a straw, that it gets the water out faster than just an open canal. And open canals have a tendency to flood all over the place. So they changed all of that. It's definitely, you know, when I was a kid, it flooded a lot. One good in the summer rain time, you go outside, be knee deep. You'd just be knee deep. It wasn't even a thing. You have time, you go break out the people or go paddling down the street. And as kids, we made a lot of money pulling people out of flooded places. You know, in the old days, you just pop off the distributor cap, take a cigarette lighter, pop on the cab, car start right up. Yes. And it's like when we used to sit in lines for gasoline.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Well, we did a thing. There was 3 of us, and we'd get 10 or 12 cars, and we would just work them all day. And then we would pull them up. And then when one was full, it would get drive back and get dropped off.
Carrie says a friend of mine and I were praying over New Orleans years ago. We both could see lots of vampires.
There's lots of vampires there. They say they like the way we taste. That Cajun food is delicious, man.
They stay away from me, man. I'm from the north. We're boring.
They say, man, especially if it's a Cajun food with some really good wine or some good bourbon or something, they'll be like, oh yeah, man, we like you. Your taste is very good.
It would be interesting. I mean, for me, Joe, to be honest with you, I would experience one time just to get that experience of them biting the shit out of me. You know what I mean?
Well, they say it leaves a feeling of ecstasy afterwards. The people who say they've been bitten, and there's a lot of, when you talk to the vampire culture down here, there's a lot of them that tell you, or will even show you sometimes where they've been bitten. And oh yeah, we've seen a few of them over the years. Right here, a lot, both men and women. They bite them a lot. Right here's a spot.
Not on the jugular, right?
No, they do it where you can't. The marks are usually like inside the thigh, on top of the shoulder, inside the arm, where you can't see them. Yeah, because you know it take a little while to heal, and you know you don't want to say, "Did a vampire get your neck?" And New Orleans is a weird place. They think a vampire's getting you. They may come stake your ass in the middle of the night, man. You know, you're fucking around with these people. You know, this ain't like, you know, normal people, man. These are people that take their lore seriously down here. They might send the Rougarou to visit.
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Rougarou will come pay you knocking on your door.
Have you ever... No, this is a dumbass question, but it isn't a dumbass question. When you're out in the swamp, did you hear the Rougarou?
The Rougarou's scared of me. It stays the hell away from me. It's scared. I'll barbecue its ass. It's a friend of mine says, he tells me, he said, Joe, ghosties don't like you, Rougarous don't like you. He said, the swamp monster don't like you. I said, yeah, because they know if I catch them, I'm going to see what they taste like. I'm cooking them for dinner. So I'll be the first motherfucker that ever barbecues a Bigfoot. He's like, you're such a bastard. I'm like, man, look, don't be, you know, come and mess with me. You're in a swamp running around being skunky ache and shit. Yeah, you deserve to get your ass shot. Trying to scare little childrens and stuff. Get the hell out of here with that. Oh, so they redone what's his face's picture from California, the video to show you what it really is. You know,
no, they did. Remember.
It was Rob Peters. I can't remember his name, but anyway, so you see this thing running, right? And then it turns its face, and you look, and you're like, "Oh shit, it's Michelle Obama." It's like, you know, you shouldn't me who put this up here. I was like, oh, poor Michelle, man. She gets abused.
That's funny. Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. That just, I don't know. Every time since I've been on this platform and I've known you, I just think I just want to go to New Orleans for a week and just experience it all.
Yeah, because there's lots to do, lots to eat. You can. I always tell people, look at a bunch of restaurants and places you want to see when you're down here, because you can eat your way to what a lot of tourists do, and they don't even realize they do it. They get up and they go get breakfast somewhere, usually on a river walk or something. or they'll go to Cafe Du Monde, have coffee, watch the tours, because it's easy to, you got to watch yourself, because a lot of New Orleans dining is outside. So it's easy to get caught up in the crowd moving around. You'll be sitting out there eating, not paying attention. 2 hours are going by. You're kind of like, and they don't rush you when you're eating. So so people go have breakfast and then they might go walk, maybe do some shopping at Jackson Square, or maybe walk over to Cathedral, look at some of the artists or some of the table rappers and stuff, or they might walk into some of the other shops along the area or some of the other restaurants. But usually, by the time they get to the other side of the Riverwalk, they're hungry again. It's lunchtime, and they're stopping to eat, or they're going to the aquarium, or they're going to the riverfront. There's just a lot to do, and you can walk around. You go at your own pace. You can take the trolley. You can take the bus. But when you're in the quarter, it's just easier to walk. It takes longer, but it's easier.
She's crazy. Carrie's on the world tonight, man.
Or you can get in a horse and buggy, and
that would be sweet.
They say ghosts sometimes come ride the tour with you.
Look at that. She's on the roll tonight. Yeah, they fatten you up for the theaters, sounds like.
Yes, man. We go out there and put molasses and salt blocks out for them big feet, man. Say, come on over, get some. I know, though, unfortunately, a good friend of mine, Jamie, made a boo-boo one time. He was going to put some knockout drops in there so he could catch him a Bigfoot, but he put some aphrodisiac in there. Next thing he knew, he was somebody's, hey, Mr. Human, you're looking good.
What do they call them now? Spicy cubes is what they call them. Spicy cubes. That's funny.
What do you mean, Mike? You don't know what aphrodisiac is?
No, come on, Mike, please.
Look it up, man. Look it up. Look it up.
Please. Joe, where do you get
it's
these
not
people
something.
at,
It's
man?
something that's the Power Talk's open tonight, but it's not illegal. I mean, it can be illegal, but no, aphrodisiacs can be oysters, rhino horn, all sorts of shit. Oh yeah, it could be drugs too. I'm not saying it isn't, but no, we're not talking like that. We don't like those kind of people who would use drugs for that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. Hey Joe, we're coming up on a break, dude.
Yeah, well, we skipped the first one, so I guess we're gonna. What the hell? What, is the clock wrong or something?
It's only 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, 7, yeah, okay. No, you know what? Before we do that, let me see something. Let me find this, and then we might take a quick break. What is this? Hold on, people. Somebody sent me something weird. I'm glad for your magic, woman. Oh, what the hell is this? All right, we don't want to hear that. All right, we don't want to hear that either. Sorry, guys, I got carried away with something there. Now, what the hell? I was looking for something particular and I lost it. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Okay, hold on. Okay. Hey, I can sing if I want to sing. Is this
your show, man?
When we come back, we're going to be, well, hold on. I'm trying to lie to y'all. Okay, there's 36 clips in it. This is what we want. Give me the clips. Show me the clips. Stop getting around and show me the clips. Okay, where is it at? A bunch of bad stuff in here. This must be Jay's list, man. Okay, let me see. Is this one? Is it one of these two? I don't know which one we're going to start with. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do it both. Let's start with this one. No, not this one. We're going to start with the other one. All right, we're going to start with this one. Okay. First off, we got to put some music on, girls and guys. When we come back, we're going to be doing some UFO stuff, some footage, some new footage. Most of this footage is from the last year or two. So it's fairly new, so we can go through it and see if it's real or not real, or is it Memorex? Y'all know what Memorex is, people?
Oh my God, dude. That's old. That's
shh. Shh. You're not supposed to. That's all. Shh. Damn, Sean gives us away all the time, man.
Damn straight, man.
You gotta watch this dude. He is bad. He is bad.
I am bad.
Jesse Wayne Jackson. And where did that name come from? Is that even a real name, Jesse Wayne Jackson? Where are you writing from? I know I see you're in Pal Talk, but it's jamming up my computer. So where are you writing from? Catskills.
Catskill Mountains. That's up by me. That's in New York.
Oh, you're prospecting. What are you prospecting for? Gold and aliens. What a dumbass. No, yeah, you prospect for whatever you want. I'm not giving you shit about it.
I prospect.
If you find gold or aliens, I'll be happy for you. Look. Yeah, I ain't got nothing against that.
What's this guy's name, Joe? What's this guy's name?
I don't know. I done lost the thing now. I done moved on to something else, but repost it.
I prospect gold, and I prospect the little people when I'm prospecting gold.
Yeah, he's talking to little people like, what's his name, Zimbabwe from New York, the mayor. That kind of little people. Anyway. Yeah, see, I made me forget what the hell I was doing, messing around with you people. Oh, you talking? No, it's possible that California will have a Republican governor, yeah. And maybe a Republican mayor. It's got to be getting scary for them Dems out there, man. Who thought, every time they hear they're going to win in a landslide, and then, well, wait, how can we be winning a landslide if we're going to lose in California? Wait, is something not right? Right with this? Oh man. No, I'm trying to play something I'm not going to get in trouble for playing. Oh, it definitely ain't going to be that.
Metallica.
Be that. How about some Gypsy? Nah, Fleetwood gets they bitchy about Fleetwood too. We could do some scat, man. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're actually going to do some disco.
Yeah, play the alien one.
No, this is real disco.
Okay, let's do it.
Anyway, we're going to break while y'all get to listen to some real. And Sean picked this out if y'all don't like it. It was Sean that picked it out. I like red fruit, so I can't say nothing, but not everybody does. I think he's a little weird side. Maybe an alien or something.
Do you want promos done too?
Let me see how long this song is on. I want chocolate. Nah, I don't think we need any promo. But you know what, dude?
Mr. Montaldo. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the chat Saturday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern, where me, Joe, and Jay talk about everything and anything that we want to talk about. And so we can talk from food all the way up to politics, whatever we want to talk to. Roseanne Ash, good to see you. It's been a while, buddy. Hello, Carrie. Good to see you. I just want to tell everybody tomorrow night, don't forget, 8:10 p.m., my show, Into the Night, from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. No, 10:10 p.m. I got a 2-hour show. So, hope to see you all there. Let's see. Joe's got something queued up.
Man. That sounds like some fake show. I ain't never heard of that show before. What did you call it? Night's End. What?
Into the Night, Joe.
Never heard of that, man. I've never heard of that show, man. Who hosts that show?
I do, Joe.
Oh, man, you full of shit, man. Get out of here. You've been hanging out with Jay too much, man.
I wouldn't say that to Kara or Carrie or Roseanne. They know who
Carrie, tell him he's full of it, man. Next thing he'll be pole dancing and stuff. Y'all better watch this guy. Jay been telling me about his pole dancing.
Oh yeah, you know what? Remember that one time we talked about pole dancing on a Saturday night, and everybody showed up in the chat room waiting for me to pole dance.
Denise, I don't know what picture that is. I can barely see it. Oh, that's some lecture I was doing in Laughlin, Nevada. I think I was actually there for press and lectures. Usually I'm doing both. Oh man, that was many moons. Shit. Sean was still a youngster.
Yep.
I mean, he was a baby.
Yep.
He was on his 5th kid and shit at that time.
Oh, real quick before, no, 6. Get it right, dude.
No, well, 6. You know.
Thank you, Roseanne.
We don't count the girls.
So what did you think about the Nimitz retiring, dude? Did you get that thing you gave me?
Oh, no, I didn't see it. I haven't seen it. Well, where the fuck is that? Let me find it. You sent to my messenger?
Yeah.
They finally going to retire my ship and cocksucking motherfuckers. Excuse my language, ladies.
Yeah, the Nimitz retired, dude.
I know they said they were going to get rid of her and she needed to go, and her reactor was getting old and sketchy.
Carrie says, streaming stopped. I thought you guys got spanked by YouTube.
Yeah, F YouTube. Let's see. We love YouTube. I mean, all love YouTube. Let's see.
Yeah, I sent it to you in Messenger, man.
Hold on. Let's see. Timothy, that's my grandson. What you up to, grandson? Grandson, you're not sending me porn. I want you to know porn now.
Let me find it for you.
Oh, sorry, that's my grandson. That's me weird stuff. It's a donkey shitting cigarettes.
Yeah,
it's
I'll send it right back to you right now, Joe.
Hold on, let me find Shawnee Wani. I was on a different messenger. That's all. Somehow all my messengers are tied together. There's Sean Kelly. There's some. I don't see. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Let me see. All right, stay. No, it ain't the Nimitz. What the hell crap shit is that? That is not. I'm looking under my ship, man. That ain't it. Let me put. I think that's some BS. Let me put the thing on here. Where's it at? Where's the room at? Sean's BS and his people. Hold on. I got to close this one in order to open this one. No, they don't let you hold two like they used to. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let's get this fake ass shit, man. All right, there y'all go. Let's see. Look like some fake ass shit to me. Let's turn that on. Turn this on. Yeah, there ain't even no front catwalk. What kind of crap ship is this? And the thing's in the wrong
They're
place.
getting rid of it, man. It's becoming freaking.
It don't even. The anchors ain't even in the right place.
The giant is sleeping. Condition, non-operational and silent.
Because it was operational just recently.
Visual on USS Nimitz. The giant is sleeping. Condition, non-operational and silent.
Who are these ugly guys?
Command, visual on USS Nimitz.
Who are these ugly guys?
What's
These guys
that?
are ugly. I was looking at these guys on the front deck. Jackson, I'll find out, but that doesn't even look like the ship I was on. The anchors ain't even in the right place. Yeah, and they don't usually move them around.
Did the Nimitz retire from the Navy? No, it hasn't.
No, that's I knew it hadn't, because it'd be big pompous. They were going to retire 3 years ago, and then they said no, and then they were going to retire, but something else started, so then we said no, and then China put a new one in the water, so then we said no again, and then we got into the war, and we said no again.
Wait here.
I think they're getting tired of it. Huh?
Well, originally slated to be decommissioned in 2026, the Navy extended its service life to maintain an 11-carrier fleet until the USS John F. Kennedy CVN 79 is delivered. It is
like
currently
3
in
years
the
from
process of the final development to move from Washington to Virginia.
Yeah, which will be another 2 years before it's ready to be in the fleet. So Nimitz got another couple of years left. A good 3 years left. Well, it's hard to get rid of a ship like the Nimitz. It's big, it's fast, it's well built. It's got a nuclear reactor on board. Old Salty's a mean ass. It always cracks me up when people say, you know, Joe, its official speed is 35 knots. I'm like, really? Were you on it? And they're like, well, no. I said, well, I was. I said, better yet. I said, I'll help you. I'm going to tell you something I shouldn't tell you because it's probably classified. I said, next time you hear about a ship being deployed under battle conditions, look at the port it leaves from, which is going to probably be Norfolk or San Diego, and then look to where it's going. See how many miles it is and times those miles, times hours it takes to get there, and it'll tell you how fast the ship was going. And I said, and I can bet your ass you're going to find it was going faster than 35 knots. I said, which is about, 45 miles an hour? Well, a knot is 1 3/8 of a mile or some shit. It's a weird measurement. Yes. Don't ask me why the Navy did it, because the Navy just likes doing stupid shit sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, in the old days, it was because there were knots tied on a rope. That's why it's called knots. Yeah, that's how they used to check their speed, by how many was drug out behind them. But that's not how it works today. We have these things called speedometers. Tells us how fast we're going in the water. Besides, we can check it other ways too with GPS and radar. So, no, Gene, the Nimitz was a great ship. Still is.
I remember being tied up next to it in Norfolk, dude.
She's and back in the day, she was a monster, man.
Yes, she was. She really was.
And you know, it was funny. when I first applied, I applied to get on the Enterprise because it was called the Enterprise. And a friend of mine said, no, you're going to get Westpac. And I said, well, that's okay. I guess, I'll get whatever school I'm going. He says, no, you'll get the Nimitz. He said, that's the ship you want to be on. He said, Enterprise is all fine. It's the first nuclear reactor. He said, but it's not a Nimitz class ship. And I remember when we got our first F-18 squadrons, every fucking one of them had to be updated. It's like when you buy a computer and the first thing you do is turn it on, and fucking thing just sits there and updates for a day because it hasn't been updated in like a year. The same thing when you get new planes in. Oh man. Then you have to go through and reinforce this and reinforce that. And they're supposed to come out of the factory with these slide hook things on them, so when it catches, it takes less stress off the jet. Most of them didn't have them. You had to install them. Well, you had to make shift them. This bullshit is what it was. There's a lot of that. Jeffrey, I was talking about this earlier today. It took me a long time to get used to being saluted. Yeah, because I was a guy doing the saluting before that. Yeah, I was constantly.
Look who's on.
Hello. We heard that the whale got you.
No,
Jonah got you.
The Eye of Sauron got us.
The Eye of Sauron. What the hell's the Eye of Sauron?
It's from the Lord of the Rings. He's the bad guy in the Lord of the Rings, and we were playing a Lord of the Rings board game, and we got almost to the end, and the eye got us.
Oh my god!
Okay. You gotta learn how to duck, man. Come on now.
It's magic. You can't get away from it. It's just,
you gotta get down there and get underneath the dirt and move along, man. So I can't see.
I was playing Aragorn. I shouldn't have died, but I died. I was Aragorn, the ranger.
And he died.
He died.
I don't have a clue what he said, Joe.
He got probed. So the guy took the magical ring and turned the electric probe on and gave it to him, and he died from being probed in the ass by a magical ring. That's the easiest way to explain it. No, people don't even start on me. I was a big fan. I was a big fan.
Terms, we got incinerated.
I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings. It got me through tech school. Oh God, it helped me. I don't even know. I was going crazy. We were out drinking every night. Tech school is tough.
No. You were already crazy. This just showed you that.
I was actually quite calm until we got into tech school. And in Navy, you can't miss a question. If you fail the test 3 times, you're out. You can't miss a question. Every time you miss a question, it's a fail. So I'm like, come on, man. I was stressing, and the guy's like, here. He gives me his fucking book. It's about this thing. He kind of throws at me, hits me with it. And one of my bunkmates, it was 3 of us. And I was like, what is this, man? You don't like to read. Come on, Joe. He said, I know you read because I all those books. It's like, all right. So I started reading it. I'm about 50 pages in the beginning. I'm like, this is actually pretty good. So then it let me actually refocus my brain on the damn book, and I could chill. And because, regular electronics was bad enough, but when I got into after course, advanced avionics, advanced electronics is a bitch because the thing about it was there was stuff that I learned that I never ever even thought, well, frankly, I didn't even need to know. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was kind of like, oh, and why would I need to know this again? And what exactly do you have plans on me doing in the future? But when you do advanced anything in the fucking Navy, you need to learn cross-learn. Navy's got this thing, and I know Sean had to deal with this, but Navy expects you to know like at least 5 jobs. They really prefer if you know like 10 jobs. They really have. I mean, you want to get promoted in the Navy a lot, know 10 good jobs, and them motherfuckers will promote you till you can't breathe. Because it's a useful tool for them. Everybody's taught fire. If you're on a ship, every motherfucker on the ship knows firefighting. Everybody.
Yep.
And fuck it up, your ass is out. I mean, they just want to, and everybody does CPR. There's just basic things that everyone knows. It's not that there's a guy next to me, maybe he actually knows how to turn your leg, and if he needs to kiss you, he knows how to do that too. But we tried to avoid those whenever we could. Yeah, is anybody slipping some tongue? I don't know, Jimmy. That could get rough. Yeah, but firefighting was interesting because they didn't just teach you go out there and spray with a hose. They taught you how to maneuver your way through a burning building, how to deal with chemicals. I still remember the damn giving my general orders in the tear gas chamber. I'll never forget that.
Oh
shit.
My God, was that terrible?
And it's like, take your mask off, Mr.
My God.
Recruit, take your mask off. And you recite your order 8. I got like the middle size one. I'm like,
oh my God, it was terrible, man.
And the bad part is I was already coughing because these things have been in tear gas so much that even when you put them on your face, you instantly start tearing up and shit. It was horrible, man. It was.
Oh, it was, man. More snot came out of my nose than I could ever imagine.
There you go, Joe. That look familiar?
I can't see it.
What
is that? Oh no,
that's your insignia.
That's not what I had. I know. I had to show you what I had. That's not what I had.
Okay.
I
like that one because it looks like the one from Star Trek that Spock would have worn.
This no, so this is for a technician. I was a little bit different than a technician.
But you would have had that to be before they got to that next point.
No, because
there would probably be a pair of wings on that.
There would definitely be a pair of wings, and because it's hard to explain because I was SP first. While I was going to tech school, I was also going to special forces schools. So technically I was rated that first. So I got the little cluster, and then I got the Navy thing because I was a fly boy, or what they used to call an Airedale, actually is what they call us. Don't ask me where that queer name came from. That's just what they called it.
No, we called you Airedale.
Yeah, that's just what they were called. So, and then I got the shooter thing because, I used to stand on the side of the thing and go, and then go. That
You know what we used to call submariners? Bubbleheads.
Boys, I can't. Yeah, well,
bubbleheads. He's
probably because their heads stay bubble. It's
bubblehead.
There it is. There it is.
Carrie wants to know any updates on Iran.
Not really. There ain't much to talk about on Iran. There's a ceasefire and hold on, I'm lost. I don't even know where I'm at the moment. Where the hell's the room? There it is. Is that it? That's closed, but that's not it either. That's a different center. It's so it's weird on. So when I got promoted from E4 to LG, it was weird because I got a little cluster thing from my board, and then I got another MOS thing next to it as well, which was weird because it was lieutenant junior grade, and then lieutenant, and then lieutenant commander, and then fuck you,
the
people.
big bar and the little skinny bar, right?
Yeah, I had for some reason on the Nimitz we had these little. It was like a line ... It looked like Morse code.
Huh.
I don't know what the hell it was, but I know when we went to parade dress or when we were out, with everybody, it was one. The whole thing was about this big, and it was one stripe goal about this big, and then there was one about half the size station in the middle. And then the next one was the two side by side, with the two goals side by side.
Excuse me 1 second. That sounded like the dog.
It's
so there's no updates, Carrie, on the Iran war.
Iran loves us. Once they want to have our children now. They sent a message to Trump the other day. One of their deputies said that, frankly, we've had enough. We can't get any supplies. Can we open Hamas straight up? What do we have to do? Sounds like at least that part of the government's ready to surrender unconditionally. So they're trying.
Was that the ROGC? Was that
I don't know, but they don't know what to do. They can't get a government together, and every time Israel finds out, they blow the living shit out of them.
Or we do.
Whoever. And now Israel had to fess up on those missiles. That it wasn't an American missile that blew up that school. And you know what? I have not heard a fucking media organization anywhere apologize for that.
No, they won't.
Pete, you killed them kids, Pete.
They probably had to play a retracted story, but other than that, that's as close as you're going to get.
No, they're just going to say it's false information.
I know. It's about as close as you're
going to get. Be like, no, you can't prove it. Just because they said you can't trust the Iranians. Oh, no, but when they're dancing in the street, yeah. Oh, no, Jack, we got some UFO stuff we're going to look at, yeah. We got 2 different vids we're going to go through and see. Is it real? Is it Memorex? If you know what Memorex is, if you write me an iCar at Cox right now, the first person to tell me what Memorex is, I'll give you some free books.
Pretty much. Yeah. Carrie, yeah. They're one of them.
Did you talk about God's chosen people like that? There's going to be a special place in hell for you there, Carrie. Yes, I hate to tell you, you can't talk about the chosen ones like that. They get frizzled and then they go kill your entire, existence. They would have done it to us, but we're too big to mess with. Could you imagine with Israel controlling a country like the United States completely? It would be scary.
Yeah.
Because they think they're righteous. They're like the Muslims. They think they're 100% right. The Catholics have had to chill out in recent times. And I even noticed the Pope backed off a little bit off of Trump. Well.
He had no choice in the matter.
Because he's supposed to be the guy who loves and forgives you and prays for you, not the guy who challenged you. That's not his job. God wanted to challenge Trump. God would have just let the bullet go through Trump's head. So, and Pope has to take that in consideration.
Roseanne. Hey, Joe, do we need to worry about you with the scientists and researchers disappearing?
Okay. if I suddenly disappear or do the suicide thing, no, probably within 6 months of that, the rest of you bitches are gonna be following me.
Yeah. Yeah, the same has been said. I said the same thing to Jeff. He said the same thing to me. If we come up under weird circumstance, missing or dead, it wasn't us. Especially if it has something to do with camping or hiking.
It's
I don't go camping or hiking. Not even on a whim.
In some ways, this feels like somebody is either trying to stop a technology or wipe out a technology. At first, I thought it was something different, like they were trying to hide a UFO secret, but this seems something a little bit darker than that, especially when you realize some of the projects some of these people were working on. Certain types of drives, certain type. It sounds like this may have been maybe like a maybe like a weapon made from something you would use.
Maybe it's another three an alphabet. Maybe it's another division in the government we do not know about.
Well, no, but this is something. So the thing about it is, I know a lot of people who's worked in and out of Los Alamos over the years, a lot. And I still know a lot of people who work for Boeing and them, and I'm still friends with What's-Her-Face's sister and Janine and all of them and a niece, and the whole bunch of them. And these are specific for, first off, 5 or 6 of these scientists were under the same general. And a lot of their stuff had to do with gravity drives, anti-gravity. So one of the scientists said they had broken gravity drives. Not drives, but anti-gravity. They understood how it worked. They could make things lighter than gravity and move them around and stuff. And they said they also had a working drive prototype, which means that they'd come up with a way to make anything on this planet lighter than gravity so they could just move it around by pushing it around. And then they figured out how to use gravity to push and pull like a magnetic drive, but instead using gravity. And the reason they want to use gravity instead of magnetics is because gravity is everywhere in the universe. And in some places, it's in an enormous amount of mass that you can use to basically make a giant slingshot across the galaxy. So they understand that now. And again, I think this has more today to do with how do you see that far ahead. But in this case, I don't think this was a drive that was the problem. I think this was a weapon based on a drive, because this sounded like something like they could aim a beam at Moscow and just flatten the place, like turn it on ultra gravity and just flatten the place. It really sounded more along something along those lines, or grab an asteroid and pull it down on top of something.
Sending prayers, Kara. So what are we looking at, Joe?
That is, well, I think we actually got audio with this. Let's find out.
Harder to ignore, and 2026 just made things worse. New footage, new witnesses, and objects that don't behave like anything we understand. Whatever's out there, at first, it looked like a weather anomaly until a massive dark object emerged from the clouds and held its position for over 2 minutes. The object flickered with faint lights, almost like it was struggling to stay concealed. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, it faded back into the clouds. The clip spread quickly, with many suggesting this wasn't just a sighting, but something attempting to hide in plain sight.
Looks like the USS Enterprise.
Or deployment.
This ship has been hanging out.
Something about this doesn't feel right.
Back in March 2025, something unusual was recorded over the Persian Gulf. From the deck of an aircraft carrier, an officer captured a massive craft hovering silently above the ship. What made it unsettling wasn't just its size, but what followed. Small orbs being released into the sea and surrounding airspace. According to the officer, attempts to report it were ignored, almost like it wasn't meant to be acknowledged.
I give that one.
In February 2026, a routine highway drive turned into something far stranger. A group of locals filmed a massive disc-shaped object hovering low to the side of the road. It emitted a faint green glow and remained completely still, as if observing traffic. What made this case even more unsettling was that it wasn't the first time. Earlier footage from 2025 showed a similar object flying just above ground level, almost like it was intentionally avoiding detection. The repeated sightings led many to believe this wasn't coincidence, but a pattern quietly unfolding.
Maybe
Sky
not.
structure.
Wrong. Fake.
Oh, what? Viral clip showed beachgoers spotting a massive circular structure. A strange flying object was recorded over Tehran, and it didn't behave like anything familiar. Its movement was smooth, controlled, almost deliberate. But what really stood out was the sound it produced, something witnesses claimed didn't match any known aircraft. A ufologist who reviewed the footage stated it didn't appear digitally altered, which only added fuel to the speculation. The fact that it was seen over such a sensitive location raised even more questions, leaving many to wonder if this sighting was accidental or intentional.
And they get this weird noise.
Highway shadow.
Now I've heard about these before, but I've never seen
Somewhere
them.
on a Texas highway, a normal drive took a turn no one expected. Two people were on the road when one of them glanced outside and froze.
I've heard
right
about these
beside
in
them,
Texas
keeping
and
pace,
New Mexico
was this
and
massive
Arizona,
black
both on
object
Interstate
just
10 and
gliding
20.
there, low to the ground, like it didn't want to be noticed. It stayed with them for some time, then slowly drifted off. People online think it might have been avoiding detection, but that only raises a bigger question.
Inside the car?
Avoiding who?
Whatever.
How is that avoiding detection? Avoiding detection would have
Low
been above
hover.
the
Not me,
What is
Terry.
this
I
thing?
haven't.
Over in Medellin, things got weird real fast. People started noticing something hovering
Fake.
just above the ground, low enough to actually make out its shape. It wasn't your
that-
typical flying saucer, though.
that-
It had
no,
this
it's a-
odd, rounded form that didn't quite make sense.
Looks like something out of
An
Star
older
Trek.
clip, believed to be from the early 2000s, shows a man standing by a quiet beach when something glowing catches his eye. Up in the sky, a bright disk was hovering, but not smoothly, almost unstable, like it was struggling to stay up. The light coming off it felt intense, unnatural. He kept filming as it was dipping slightly like it might fall. And then the clip cuts off before anything else happens. Just a moment frozen in time that leaves one question behind. Was it failing, or was it never meant to stay?
Okay, so I give two babies and everything else fake.
Farm encounter. In
Yeah,
March
that's fake.
2026, a
Now, I've
quiet
heard
farm
about
turned into
encounters
something
like
out of a
these before. I
nightmare.
couldn't tell you what
A man
this
heard
was.
strange noises around 5 a.m., enough to make him grab a camera and step outside. What he found was
Why would you
already
grab
there,
a camera?
a
I would
massive
grab a
craft,
gun at 5
sitting
in
on
the
his
morning.
land like it had always
I'd grab
belonged.
both.
Then movement, small figures,
I'd
stepping
grab both
out,
camera
not
and gun.
human, not
Maybe
even
move,
close.
and
He
definitely
kept
2D.
recording, but something changed. They noticed him. The camera started shaking as he backed away, then turned to run. And the worst part, it felt like they followed. The video cuts off mid-motion, and no one knows what happened after that.
It's bullshit.
Park lights.
Somebody survived because the footage survived.
Now this looks like what's his name's UFO?
On the
here?
28th of January,
your boy Ed
2025,
Walters
in
out of
Dundalk,
Golf
a
Creek.
quiet evening near a local park turned into something unexpected. A young man noticed a strange object just hovering there, completely
Walters.
still. No noise, no
Well, it looks
movement,
like- it looks
just
like
hanging in the
Ed
sky
Walters.
like it didn't belong. The back of it glowed with red and green lights,
Yeah,
almost
fake.
too vivid to ignore. You can hear it in his voice while recording.
It
Pure
looks just like
shock.
the one from Golf Creek.
Sure does.
Calling his friend to look it up, it wasn't far, not distant, close enough to feel real. And for a moment, everything else around him just didn't matter.
Oh my God.
I'm telling
Escorted
you,
arrival.
For shit. Hey, isn't that like one from Star Wars?
After watching
those
clips
are the
like
ones
this,
from
it raises
Star
a chilling
Trek, the
question.
race-
What
or
if
not
there
Star Trek,
really is
Stargate.
a connection between the
Stargate
U.S.
Atlantis.
military and extraterrestrial activity?
Right.
In early 2024, a quiet farmland recording turned into something way bigger than expected. A man casually filming the sky caught a massive
this,
object
people.
appearing out of nowhere.
If you see
But
some
that
weird
wasn't
thing in
the
the
part
sky
that
and our
stuck.
planes are all
Around
around
it,
it's
multiple
out.
jets and helicopters moved in formation,
Could
almost
that
like
be
they
the
were
alien?
expecting it.
Could that be
The whole
the
scene felt
47,
coordinated.
F-47?
Like this wasn't the
No.
first time
Oh,
something like
makes
this had
sense.
happened. The footage
Fake.
spread fast, and people couldn't ignore one detail. Whatever that object was, it didn't look like it showed
It's
up
from
uninvited.
Stargate Atlantis.
It does look very, very, very familiar.
Dawn visitor. In early 2026, somewhere in Portugal, a man woke up around 5
Yeah,
a.m.
well, a lot of
missed to a
these on
sound
here,
that didn't
people would
belong.
report.
Not loud, just wrong. He walked to the window,
That
still
means
half
they're real,
asleep,
and
and froze.
it helps
Right
them.
outside, hovering low, was something massive, completely silent, almost like it had been sitting there the whole time. Slowly, it began to rise, lifting into the dim morning sky, and underneath it,
Why have
strange
that all
symbols,
blacked out
clear
then?
enough to notice, but not understand. Within moments, it was gone, just before sunrise. Like whatever it was, didn't want to be seen for long. cloaked watcher.
Be the first time.
It's dropping those same metal spheres.
Whatever.
Near the Appalachian Mountains, a video surfaced that left people uneasy for a different reason. A massive saucer-shaped object hovered silently in the sky, barely moving. Then, from underneath it, two orbs slowly dropped toward the ground. But the real twist came after. The larger craft didn't leave it stayed. Only, it didn't look the same anymore. It started blending in, fading into the sky like it was switching off. Not disappearing completely, just enough to go unnoticed. And that's what stuck with people. The idea that it was still there, just hidden.
It's completely transparent.
That
Canyon Patrol.
That means you can see through it.
Out in the rugged canyons of Arizona, a lone hiker caught something that felt almost routine, but shouldn't have been. A saucer-shaped object hovered quietly, then began moving through the canyon as if it knew exactly where it was going. It drifted. During the 2020 lockdown in Camden, when the streets were unusually quiet, something else took over the sky. A huge black object just hovered there. Just stillness. Almost like it was waiting. People noticed. They recorded. And for once, instead of brushing it off, everyone seemed unsure. The way it stayed in place, calm and unmoving, made it feel intentional. Like it wasn't hiding, but observing. The footage spread quickly, but no clear answers followed. Just a lingering thought. Maybe the silence that year wasn't just on the ground. Green Halo. In a crowded square somewhere in Japan, people suddenly stopped what they were doing and looked up. Phones came out instantly. Above them, a massive saucer-shaped object rotated slowly, not flickering, but steady and controlled. It didn't rush or dart around. It just stayed there, almost like it wanted to be seen. The footage spread fast, and theories followed even faster. Some pointed toward advanced tech, maybe experimental. But when experts couldn't match it to anything known, and officials denied involvement, it left something else hanging in the air. Uncertainty.
Don't we have yeah, I know we do.
Tree scanner.
Where is it?
In Idaho, a quiet night in 2024 turned strange when a man's dogs wouldn't stop barking. Stepping outside to check, he noticed something hovering just above the tree line. A massive triangular craft, slowly rotating in place. Not drifting, rotating, like it was scanning the ground below. He started recording as it continued its motion, steady and deliberate. When the video surfaced, debates exploded. Some called it military tech, others weren't so sure. Because whatever it was, it didn't seem like it was just passing through.
Drone of some kind.
Could that be the 47?
Ringcraft.
Yeah.
That could be TR3B.
Yeah.
In a quiet Michigan town, one evening turned into something straight out of a movie.
Weird.
A local stepped outside and noticed something massive hovering low, way too low to be normal. But it wasn't just the size. Around the main disc were these smaller rings, slowly rotating like some kind of mechanism. He started recording, trying to make sense of it, and then the entire thing lit up. And within seconds, it disappeared. Some say it looked like it slipped into something, like a tear in the sky itself. Since then, neighbors haven't really agreed on what they saw.
What was that Kevin Sorbo space thing?
Orb encounter.
His spaceship looked like when it took off.
Well,
Back in 1981, a man named Carlos Diaz captured something that still doesn't sit right with people today. He was near his farmhouse in Mexico when a glowing object appeared in the sky, not moving fast, just there, almost like it wanted to be seen. He grabbed his camera and started filming. The object hovered, steady, silent, and then suddenly shifted, like it slipped into somewhere else entirely. When the footage surfaced, experts took a close look, but there weren't any tricks or edits. Just a moment that, even now, feels a little too real to explain away.
Yeah, and the orange modeling is kind of hard to fake, too. That's a fake TR3B.
A couple years back, a man driving through a remote stretch pulled over after spotting something that didn't belong in the sky. Hanging there was a dark, triangular craft. He started recording as faint lights pulsed underneath, giving it that rumored TR3B look people talk about online. It didn't rush, just hovered you about.
It really looked like a TR3B. It looks like some fake shit.
Peering. Whatever it was, it didn't look accidental.
That looks like one of the old TR3s.
Silent cloud.
That's a TR3A.
In Osorno, back in late 2023, people handing something off before disappearing. Whatever it was above it. For a moment, both just hang there aligned perfectly. Then they move closer and connect. Midair. No hesitation. No error. Within seconds, it's over. Both objects, something that feels almost too precise to be random. A triangular craft hovers in the sky, moving slowly, controlled. Then, out of nowhere, a smaller object appears right above it. For a moment, both just hang there aligned perfectly. Then they move closer and connect.
Yeah.
Hey,
it
Joe,
looks like it goes through it, huh?
Yeah.
Roseanne wants to know if she's been hearing weird electronic noises lately.
Oh, that could be a lot of different things there. Depends where you live, too.
Yeah, old television used to give off emissions, the sounds you could hear.
She's right below us, I do believe.
It's it could be a couple things causes that. You'd have to rule out natural things around you or businesses around you first.
Try the arrow keys. See if they'll move it frame by frame for you.
Let's no, it just skips to the next one.
Yeah,
mine too, Kara. My ears have been ringing a lot too.
It's high blood pressure, people. Good
I've got tinnitus all the time.
Well, it does look like an old TR3, babe. But
TR3A.
No, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there is no
silent cloud.
Estamos apreciando un objeto no identificado.
In Osorno, back in late 2023, people noticed something strange sitting in the sky. At first glance, it looked like a cloud, but too perfect. Smooth edges, a clean, saucer-like shape, just hovering there without changing form. Some claimed it was slowly rotating. Others even said they heard a faint sound coming from it. Officially, it's explained as a rare lenticular cloud. But even then, something felt off, because clouds don't usually hold that kind of shape for that long. And they definitely don't make people stop and stare the way this one did. Sky Witness.
Borg. Yeah, it's fake.
There's this clip from late 2024. No one really knows where it was filmed, but it's definitely not Latin America like some people claimed. A group of workers, still in their high-vis gear, suddenly stop and start pointing at something in the sky. It's small, almost too small to notice at first, but their reaction? Pure shock. Phones come out instantly. What's strange is experts who reviewed the footage say there's no sign of editing at all.
I don't care. Oh, here you go.
So that's how the UFOs these days make themselves hidden in plain daylight. Two people flying low in a small plane thought it'd be just another routine pass until something below didn't sit right. Right in the middle of the crops was a massive shape, too perfect, too structured to belong there. It stood out for a second, and then it didn't. The object seemed to blend in, matching the crop so perfectly it became invisible. Gone in seconds, just fields again. The kind of moment that makes you question what hidden really means, especially when it's happening in plain daylight.
Oh, man. Y'all just being haters.
Pyramid lights.
Just because there's no rows going through the middle.
There has always been speculation about a connection between the pyramids and extraterrestrials, and this viral clip has only fueled the mystery. Near the Great Pyramid of Giza, a driver caught something that didn't feel random at all. A bright light hovered right above the tip, steady, almost intentional. Then suddenly, it shot upward, split into two, then three, then more. Within seconds, multiple glowing orbs scattered across the sky like they were following some kind of pattern. The clip spread fast, and people couldn't ignore the timing or the location. Because out of all places, why there? Skyfire.
That's why I was there.
On a quiet night in Kansas, a man driving home noticed something glowing just outside his window. At first, it looked like distant lights until they moved, slow, controlled, almost floating alongside him. He pulled out his phone, trying to keep steady as these fireball-like objects drifted through the sky. No sound, no clear pattern, just there. After the footage spread, others across the US started saying the same thing they'd seen them too. Same lights, same movement, different locations. And suddenly, it didn't feel like an isolated sighting anymore.
What is that? What is this thing?
On the 19th of March, a man looked up and thought he was staring at a cloud, a big one. But something about it didn't sit right. The shape was too clean, too structured, almost like a perfect disc. Then he noticed faint blue lights glowing from the top. That's when it stopped feeling like a cloud. It just, the more it felt like whatever that was, didn't want to be obvious.
Really? Big blue lights make it pretty obvious, I would think.
Obvious.
Mountain Watch.
Another Enterprise.
Near Mount Kenzin,
like a
something
plane.
unusual showed up again in 2024. Tourists visiting the area suddenly found themselves staring at massive objects floating in the sky. Not tiny lights, actual shapes. Large, steady, impossible to miss. Locals weren't entirely surprised they've seen strange things there before, but even they admitted this felt different. Bigger, clearer. Some brushed it off as advanced tech testing, which might explain part of it, but not all of it. Because whatever those objects were, they didn't behave like anything people were used to seeing.
Where did they come from, though? What's
Cabin panic.
there?
There's been a couple of them taken
Somewhere
from
in
airplanes.
2025, a normal flight turned into chaos midair. Passengers started noticing something outside the window, a massive, saucer-shaped object moving alongside the plane. Close.
Why do they
Way
block
too
out all the
close.
text on these?
The cabin shifted from calm to panic in seconds. People were shouting, pointing, and trying to process what they were seeing. Someone managed to record it, but the video cuts off abruptly. According to the person who uploaded it, things got serious after that. Officials stepped in and told everyone to stop filming. No explanations given, just silence. And that silence ended up raising more questions than the sighting itself.
And what officials were these? What airline was it?
Silent pursuit. Another airline clip tells a quieter, but somehow more unsettling story. This time, the passenger didn't react, just kept recording. Outside, just beneath the plane, a massive saucer-shaped object moved steadily, almost like it was trying to stay out of sight. Not chasing, not racing, just there, keeping pace. What caught attention later wasn't just the footage, it was the analysis. Experts who reviewed it found no inconsistencies. The reflections, the angles, the lighting, everything matched. Burning sky. In a quiet neighborhood in Chile, a strange noise
Why
in the
is it always
sky
in a
pulled
quiet
one
neighborhood
woman
in
outside.
Chile?
What she saw didn't make sense. Hovering above was a massive object, surrounded by what looked like flames. Not smoke, not reflection, actual flickering
how do you
fire-like
see
light
flames
wrapping
out of
around
this,
it.
people?
She
I mean,
recorded what she
just
could,
glowing
clearly shaken,
orange.
and shared it online. Soon, more clips started appearing, similar sightings, different places. Some tried to explain it as a natural phenomenon, maybe something atmospheric. But even those explanations didn't fully land, because whatever that was, it didn't behave like anything natural. Frozen ring.
That's Project Bluebeam there.
Somewhere deep in Antarctica, a tourist
Saul,
captured
what are you
something
talking
that
about
didn't
Project
quite fit the
Bluebeam, man? What's the
landscape.
damn
Floating
Bluebeam?
between icy peaks was a white, donut-shaped object, too smooth, too perfect to be a cloud. At first, it drifted slowly, almost
what that
blending
looks
in,
like, Jay?
but
You know
then it
those
changed
things you
direction
get
with purpose,
put your fans
not
up with
random,
at Lowe's
not
and Home
natural.
Depot?
It moved like it was being
A
controlled.
mandala, yeah.
Within moments,
You know,
it
it
slipped
goes to the
behind a
ceiling
mountain
and your
and
fan
disappeared
fits in there.
completely. No trace,
That's
no
what
that's what
reappearance,
that looks
just
like.
empty
It
sky
feels like
again.
it, too.
And that's what stuck with people the
Yeah,
way
I
it
got the
moved.
little
It
ring in
didn't
the
feel like
middle,
something
the
formed by nature.
edge,
First you made
man.
a disc, it was foam, and it had a fabric, center.
Runway
that you could
visitor.
like that.
In December
Quite a few of these that
2025,
interact
at
with
Juan
airlines,
Santa
you gotta
Maria
take those a little
International
bit more
Airport,
serious.
something unusual unfolded in broad daylight. Near the runway, a clear, hovering object was caught on camera. No blur, no distance, just there. A week earlier, an air traffic controller had already mentioned strange sightings from the tower. Even radar picked up unusual activity, lingering in the area for hours. When the footage surfaced, it didn't feel isolated anymore. It felt connected, like whatever passed through that airspace had been there longer than anyone realized. Sky Titan.
What is
That's
this?
definitely fake.
In the frozen stretches of Siberia, a local looked up and saw something that didn't belong in the
I'm
sky.
pretty sure this is out of some
Towering,
60s
massive,
movie
almost like a
somewhere,
structure,
man.
not an object. Its shape resembled an umbrella, wide and looming. But then it got stranger.
sent me that
Smaller
message.
objects
Hey,
began
yeah,
emerging
Lord.
from it, one by one, moving away in the same direction. The witness recorded what they could, but even that felt incomplete. Because whatever that thing was, it didn't just appear, it operated. And the way those smaller objects moved made it feel like this wasn't random at all. Cloud emergence. A man filming the night sky didn't expect to catch anything, but something caught him instead. From behind the clouds, a massive shape slowly revealed itself, alien in design, with a glowing center that looked almost like a burning core. It hovered there, steady, like it was observing. Then,
How
just
does
as
it
quickly,
burning
it
core?
slipped back behind another cloud and disappeared. When
Yeah,
the footage
here it does the
surfaced,
descriptions
people
of
couldn't
these.
agree Something built to just pass.
It
Something
looks like
that didn't move, didn't make a sound, just stayed there. A massive round object frozen in the sky like it had been placed there on purpose. No blinking lights, no motion, just presence. People stood there, watching, trying to make sense of it. Some brushed it off as a balloon, something simple. But once zoomed in, the details didn't quite match that explanation. The structure, the stillness, it felt off. And the longer it stayed there, the more it felt like it wasn't just floating, it was waiting. Desert Arrow.
Silly looking.
Back in 2021, somewhere over the empty deserts of Nevada, something weird zipped across the sky that didn't look like it belonged.
It looked like
a dark, V-shaped craft was gliding silently through the sunset. No trails, no noise, just smooth movement. It didn't dart around or rush, but cruised along like it owned the sky. The people who caught a glimpse of it were pretty stunned at first. They just stood there, trying to wrap their heads around it. Some thought it had to be some top secret tech that was off limits to the public. Others weren't so convinced. Whatever it was, it definitely didn't seem like it was made to be seen. Dropping probe. A driver on a highway glanced up and noticed something hovering above, a dark disc, steady in the sky. With no time to stop, he grabbed his phone and started recording. The footage was shaky, but clear enough to see the shape just hanging there. Then something unexpected happened. From beneath the disc, a smaller object detached and began descending slowly, like it was being sent down. That moment changed everything, because it didn't feel like a random sighting anymore. It felt like a process. And whatever that smaller object was, it had a destination. Shadow disc. In 2020, outside a grocery store in Portugal, two men walked out and noticed the light around them felt off. Looking up, they saw why. A massive object hung in the sky, partially blocking the sun. It wasn't fully visible, almost like it was trying to stay hidden, but enough of its outline showed to make it clear this wasn't a cloud. They pulled out their phones, recording as the dark shape hovered in silence. Some people push limits, and sometimes they see things they weren't meant to. A man flew his drone toward Area 51, crossing into restricted airspace just to see what was out there. At first, nothing. Then suddenly, there it was. A massive, dark, donut-shaped object hovering low, casting a shadow like it owned the ground beneath it. It didn't move much, just stayed there, almost like it was guarding something. The footage blew up online, but what made it worse? Not long after uploading it, the man disappeared, and the video is all that's left. Antarctic anomaly? In Antarctica, October 2024, a tourist noticed something unusual, drifting among the clouds. At first glance, it looked like part of the sky itself, white, smooth, almost blending in. But the shape gave it away, perfectly round, too perfect. He zoomed in, and the object just hovered there, still, almost watching the frozen landscape below. No rush, no movement, until it slowly drifted behind a mountain and vanished. When the clip surfaced, people couldn't ignore one thing out there, where almost nothing exists. Something still showed up. Diamond mystery. In 2023, a quiet drive turned into something else entirely. A man noticed a strange shape hovering above the road, a diamond-like object just sitting there in the sky. Thinking it was a balloon, he zoomed in, but the closer it got, the less it made sense. The structure looked rigid, mechanical.
It looks like a top, man, but we got to go take a break right quick. So
That's like a top.
we gotta take a break. So here we go. Hey, gotta remove just have to line up. Take that out like that. Take this like that. Hit that magic button like that. Hit that other magic button like that. Hit them big boys like that. Throw that up on the screen and say, "Yeah, mama." UFO stuff. So let me drop me back in where I can actually see your lovely faces and hit remove. Welcome back, everyone. This is the chat. So we still got some more of those UFOs. We actually got another clip after this one, but so as we stand right now, I think we're like 80% of the way through this. Maybe two.
Maybe one.
Any what Jay said 5. Wow, really, Jay? 5? Wow, okay.
5 what?
You said 5 were good videos. I said 2. Sean said 1. I mean, I mean, out of all those videos, I mean, there may have been 2, maybe 3, but I mean, it's the ones which get around the airplanes are a little different, because it's more interactive.
The one looked like some kind of one of them looked like the Enterprise, Starship Enterprise, and another one looked like an enemy of the Star Trek Enterprise.
Okay, I didn't see that in any of those. I need Sean's imagination. Shit.
That's good. The ribs are
I don't know. Carrie or Carolyn. No, I don't. There might be 2 or 3 that were maybe legit. All the rest of them, I think, were AI. Yeah, well, we got a couple more. Let's see, but I don't have that feeling that. See, I was talking with earlier about this because
we're unavailable on YouTube. Wow.
Oh, YouTube doesn't love us.
Stream suspended for policy violations.
Michelle's going to kick your ass.
Oh, wait, now we're back. We're back.
Yeah, no, because we didn't do anything that we should have got in trouble.
It just came back up.
Yeah, they get mad when you do a copyright thing. They just take you off till the copyright goes. It's
that's not right.
So there goes. They're off the Wamba's off the list of playing.
Okay, yeah. Kara just said, "There we go." LOL. They came on for her.
They didn't like us playing that song, so we playing all kind of shit, but not that song. You gotta wonder what the logic is behind that. No, Jack.
You know why? Look at the one lyric in there, pissing my wife away.
Yeah, so I don't see that's gonna do anything. They're not doing it. We're not getting in trouble for that. We're getting in trouble for copyright because we're playing their copyright. They're being like Sandman. I mean, like Metallica. These people are being greedy and they don't want you playing their stuff. That's what the problem is.
But they get paid though. They get paid.
I don't get. Apparently, they don't. They're saying they don't get paid enough because people are just listening to them there and not buying their tapes and albums, which is true. I haven't bought a CD or even any kind of music. I couldn't even tell you when the last time was. 20 years. Shit, after Napster came out, I don't think I bought a music ever since then. Shit. And for so long, TMC was getting everybody's movies out. I mean, you could get any movie 2 weeks before it came out in the theaters and watch it. Yeah, the old internet. The old ways, the old internet. No, you can still find that on today's internet. So let's see what we got left on this list. Let's see. This looks like a top of some kind. Like, the kind I used to play with when I was a kid.
Almost engineered, not floating randomly,
but
holding position. He recorded everything and shared it. And instantly,
maybe
advanced tech. Others weren't convinced because whatever that was, it didn't behave like something.
No, that ain't Kecksburg.
Did into view. Farm mystery.
That could be Kecksburg.
Something felt off before it was even seen. A farmer noticed his dog suddenly sprinting back, panicked, like it had run into something unseen. That's when he looked toward the trees and spotted it, a disc-shaped object hovering low, completely still. He raised his camera, zooming in, and the size hit him. This wasn't small. It was massive, silent, watching. For a moment, nothing moved. Then suddenly, it reacted, almost like it noticed him. In a split second, it shot straight up and disappeared. No sound, no trail, just gone. Alien hideout. In 2023, near a line of windmills somewhere in Russia, a mechanic witnessed something he couldn't ignore. A massive saucer drifted low, gliding dangerously close to the structures before descending toward a hidden spot nearby. It didn't crash, didn't rush. It lowered itself like it knew exactly where it was going. The mechanic later claimed this wasn't the first time he'd seen something like it. That detail stuck with people, because if it wasn't the first time, then maybe it wasn't just passing through. Maybe it was returning. Mountain mystery.
I don't want to say what that looks like.
Back in September 2020, deep in the Alaskan mountains, a group of hikers captured something that didn't belong in that silence. A saucer-shaped object moved above them, gliding smoothly, like it wasn't affected by anything around it. No noise, no sudden motion, just a steady drift across the sky. They filmed what they could, but the moment ended abruptly. The object was gone as quickly as it appeared. When the footage hit the internet, debates took over. But even through all the noise, one thing stayed consistent. It didn't look ordinary.
What that looks like, but it looks like a UFO.
Sky Scout. Somewhere in Nevada, a man watched as a massive saucer moved slowly across the sky, shifting from one spot to another, like it was scanning the ground below. It didn't rush, didn't dart, just observed. Then it stopped, hovered for a moment, and without warning, shot upward. But not just into the sky, it looked like it entered something. A brief distortion, almost like a doorway. And then it was gone. No fade, no trail, just empty space. People argued over what it was, but the way it left, that part no one could easily explain.
But why?
Across silent deserts, something unnatural begins to move.
Oh, wait, is this the other one? This might be
Flying saucers drift over crowded beaches in plain sight.
Okay, 366, you will follow 5.
And mysterious crafts are being caught on camera worldwide. The Nuclear Observer. Late in the evening near the power station outside Wintersburg, witnesses watched a glowing green entity invade restricted airspace. It moved with terrifying agility, sudden stops and instant direction changes that would crush a human pilot. Suspended over the core infrastructure in total silence, the object eventually vanished into the void, leaving security teams baffled and the public looking for answers. To the Neon City Shifter. A man walking through the streets of Glendale in the evening stopped in his tracks as something caught his eye high above the skyline. A glowing object emitted an eerie green light, but it wasn't the color that unsettled him. It was the movement. It didn't glide like a drone. It shifted in sharp, jagged bursts, defying the momentum of any known aircraft. Was this a rare atmospheric phenomenon, or was the city being monitored by something far more mysterious? The silent shadow of Lake Mead.
341. Okay, 366, you will follow 5.
In 2025, a U.S. Black Hawk helicopter was on a routine flight path near the reservoir when a phantom craft suddenly materialized alongside it. Ghost-like and invisible to radar, the object was only visible to the crew's own eyes. For several tense moments, it glided in perfect formation, matching the helicopter's speed effortlessly as if toying with it. Then with a sudden, impossible backward maneuver, it vanished into thin air. This display of propulsion technology has left military experts questioning how many of these silent shadows are currently patrolling our skies undetected.
341. Okay, 366, you will follow 5.
The Humanoid Colleague.
What is this,
A
man?
leaked clip from deep within the Nevada
Sean, I
desert
told
near
you stop
Rachel
around naked.
starts off looking like a mundane day at the office for military personnel.
See what
Until
happens
you
when you're
look
not
closer.
wearing your ho-ho suit?
Walking
Look,
calmly
man,
among
people
the
get pictures
soldiers
of it.
is a small humanoid figure that clearly isn't human. The most chilling part isn't the creature itself, but the complete lack of reaction from the crew. No one flinches, no one stares. It moves with a sense of belonging that suggests this isn't a new discovery, but a long-standing partnership. If authentic, and this footage proves that the alien presence at the base has become a completely normalized part of the daily routine. The Extraction Outpost. A leaked video from an anonymous source has sent shockwaves through the global intelligence community. The footage, allegedly filmed at a remote Siberian military outpost, shows an extraterrestrial being walking casually past armed soldiers. There is no panic, no gunfire, and no fear. Only a terrifying sense of familiarity. As a massive mothership hovers directly above the base, it becomes clear that this wasn't an invasion, but a scheduled extraction. It raises the most disturbing question of all.
How is that a mothership,
If
though?
the world's superpowers
That's
have
smallest
already made
mothership I've ever
contact,
seen.
Yeah.
what are they preparing for? The high-stakes standoff. Deep in the wilderness near Buckeye, a routine military patrol turned into a high-stakes standoff. After reports of an anomaly in a restricted zone, soldiers arrived to find a massive UFO hovering defiantly in the open. A military helicopter was immediately scrambled to establish contact, but the craft remained chillingly silent, ignoring all signals. Before reinforcements could lock down the site, the object accelerated and disappeared. This wasn't just a sighting, it was a demonstration of power, proving that these entities can appear anywhere at any time, completely bypassing our most advanced defense systems.
Exactly. How are we supposed to lock down the site
desert
anyway?
scheduled stop.
For
those who still believe there's nothing but experimental planes in the desert outside Crystal, this footage might be the ultimate game changer. Captured near the perimeter of the restricted zone, a massive spacecraft is seen resting on the ground, looking less like a crash and more like a scheduled stop, perhaps for maintenance or a high-level exchange. After a brief period, the craft effortlessly lifts off and vanishes into the horizon. This moment makes one thing undeniably clear. Contact has already been established. The real mystery isn't whether they are here,
Yeah, they don't use those
but why
hankies
the
for that
truth
kind of
remains
crap, but
buried
anyway.
under layers of top-secret clearance. The surveillance orb. Leaked CCTV footage from the outskirts of the Nevada restricted zone has added a new level of intrigue to the world's most famous base. The video shows a glowing orb plummeting from the stratosphere at terminal velocity, only to break instantly and hover in dead silence.
Fake, though. It's not
It
real.
appeared to be conducting a high-speed scan of the facility below, gathering data with mechanical precision. Within seconds, the orb retracted and shot back into space. By the time security teams responded, the intruder was gone, leaving behind only questions about who or what is monitoring our most sensitive military secrets. The farmer's observation. Often, animals sense the unknown long before humans do.
We just saw this.
While inspecting his
saw that
property
one,
near
yeah.
Fort Collins, a farmer captured the moment his dog fled in a state of pure panic, reacting to this wasn't a random event, perfectly stationary, unfazed by the wind or the crashing waves, before accelerating into the horizon with a speed that left the witness in shock. The effortless nature of its departure suggests that our most crowded public spaces are being observed by entities that no longer feel the need to hide. Simple rocket separation. Instead, it captured a massive pyramid-shaped structure drifting in the vacuum of space. While officials dismissed it as space debris, analysts have pointed out a glaring flaw. No rocket component in human history has ever been shaped like a pyramid. The object appeared stable and observant, as if monitoring our progress from the shadows of orbit. The space-time rip. Deep in the desert near Beatty, a local observer captured a large saucer-shaped craft performing maneuvers that defy modern aviation. The object glided silently, pausing mid-air with surgical precision before suddenly accelerating upward. In the blink of an eye, it appeared to enter a circular distortion in the sky, a literal rip in space-time, before vanishing entirely. The sheer lack of a trail or engine noise suggests a technology far beyond. In 2024, the skies over Ocampo, Mexico, became the stage for a chilling encounter. A man driving home from work spotted a glowing orb, gliding with eerie intent. He followed the object as it descended slowly toward a dense wooded area. This wasn't a crash, it was a controlled landing. The way the craft navigated the trees suggests it wasn't just passing through, but returning to a familiar location. Many now believe these remote forests may hide a permanent, hidden presence operating right under our noses. The Pacific Naval Engagement. Footage leaked from a 2019 naval exercise off the coast near San Clemente appears to show a confrontation that went beyond a simple sighting. Allegedly sourced from a high-level cyber breach, the clip shows U.S. Navy forces engaging an unknown aerial target. The object ignited upon impact, but instead of crashing, it retaliated. A massive burst of light was directed back at the fleet, resulting in immediate chaos and reported damage. While official channels were quick to issue a denial, the footage remains a smoking gun for those convinced of a deep-sea military cover-up. The Atlas incident.
When the lights came on, Major Mansman turned around and looked at me and said, "Were you guys screwing around up there?" I said, "No, sir." And he said,
"This is actual footage of that."
"What was that?" And I said, "It looks to me like we got a UFO."
A haunting video has surfaced near a launch site outside Cuyahoga Falls. In the frames, strange beams of light appear to intercept an Atlas rocket mid-ascent. Moments later, the massive machine loses control and disintegrates into a rain of fire. What makes this case truly chilling is the digital scrubbing that followed. While the full footage was once public, only fragmented, edited clips remain. Was this a technical failure or a deliberate intervention?
I think it was altered on purpose.
And it shot a beam of light at the warhead. Now, remember, all this stuff is flying at several thousand miles an hour. So this thing fires a beam of light at the warhead, hits it, fires another beam of light, and then flies out the way it came in.
The downtown Sentinel.
Enormous, arrowhead shape, can't get inside. It's bigger than downtown. We were seeing the same on our scope.
On what should have been a routine afternoon near a military outpost outside Fairborn, an officer reported a massive V-shaped craft hovering in absolute silence. It defied every law of physics, showing no heat signature or visible propulsion. The military remained silent, leaving us to wonder, was this a classified shadow project or a visitor from somewhere else?
Red alert! Red alert! Get the fuck up, people. It's red alert.
The 51 retrieval. In the desolate sands near Rachel, a local resident's quiet night was shattered by a deafening impact on his property. Following the smoke, he discovered a metallic, disc-shaped craft embedded in the earth. He wasn't alone for long. A specialized recovery team in full hazmat gear was already moving with surgical precision,
in the ground,
cordoning off the site before the dust had even settled. The sheer scale of the object and the urgency of the Black Ops team suggests this wasn't a fallen drone. It was a high-priority recovery of technology not born on this planet. The ghost of MH37. We revisit the most haunting aviation mystery in history. Recent leaks claim to show 3 unidentified spheres circling the aircraft shortly before it vanished from the world's maps. While officials point toward data errors, the footage shows these objects moving in a synchronized, intelligent pattern. Are these visual artifacts, or did the flight encounter something that exists outside our understanding of the skies? The open hatch traveler. In a secluded region near Santa Rosa, a witness stumbled upon a landed craft that defied all known aeronautical engineering. The object featured a visible front gate or hatch of an alien design sitting openly in the terrain. There was no sign of a crash or distress. As the witness watched from a distance, the craft performed a cold launch, lifting off with total control and zero visible propulsion. Its calm, leisurely departure suggested a level of technological superiority that viewed human detection as an utter irrelevance. The night highway lights.
Oh, what the f***?
A woman was driving alone at night on a quiet highway near Barstow when she noticed unusual lights in the sky. The lights appeared
So
some
what we're
distance
telling
away,
me here is this
but their
chick's
erratic
driving
movement made her
along
pull over and start
at
recording.
interstate
The road
speeds,
was mostly
recording.
empty, and there were no nearby buildings.
While
which
she's
made the
driving,
moment
yeah,
feel
with her
deeply
phone.
unsettling. There is no clear explanation for
Chick
what the
you
lights
all over
were,
the place. I'm
and
watching
no
your
official
car.
source has confirmed their origin.
I mean, it's cool,
This footage
but I
captures
mean,
the
you're
raw
gonna get somebody
isolation
killed.
of an encounter that leaves more questions than answers.
Oh, what the f***?
The Portuguese biological
shit.
mystery.
I'm sorry.
In a quiet town near
That was my
Santarém,
chihuahua.
a local family's nightmare became a reality when a bizarre creature wandered into their yard. Looking like something out of a biological experiment gone
Hanging out with
wrong,
Rougarou.
the being possessed a reptilian body covered in sharp,
the biological
jagged
experiment
spikes
gone wrong
along
look
its
like,
head and
though?
You don't
spine.
look like no reptilian.
While its appearance was terrifying, its behavior was strangely non-aggressive,
It looked terrifying.
almost curious. As the footage went viral, it sparked a firestorm of theories. Is this a natural mutation, a leaked experiment, or a biological scout from another world?
Yeah, neither of those.
The
Probably
French
kid got
impact.
left out to ship and he's about to crap himself. Hope
A
mom and dad can find him.
2024 viral clip from rural France shows a heavy military and scientific presence surrounding 2 unidentified objects that fell into a field near Amiens. While authorities quickly slapped a top-secret label on the site, reports from on-site scientists suggest the material composition of the objects does not exist on the periodic table. The palpable confusion among the experts on-site hints that this wasn't a fallen satellite, but something from much further away. The Ocean Intercept. In 2015, Spanish fishermen near Vigo, recording a pair of roaring fighter jets, caught something much more terrifying on camera. A saucer-shaped object was hovering just above the swells, completely ignoring the military jets circling above. In a sudden move, the craft dived into the ocean, vanishing without a splash. The panic in the fishermen's voices is unmistakable, especially when Black Ops authorities arrived minutes later to confiscate their equipment and clear the area. The New Jersey deployment.
Aliens don't go to New Jersey.
In a surprising sighting over Jersey City,
it's rare that
a bright blue orb was seen in the sky, appearing to release several smaller lights in a coordinated drop.
Yeah, they like it over there.
Moments later, another object, reported by witnesses as a drone, entered the area, and the main orb vanished shortly after. Some viewers believe this was a display of advanced deployment technology or a misidentified aerial object. The precision of the sequence suggests an intelligence behind the controls that far exceeds our current drone capabilities.
I don't know about that now. We got some pretty slick drones these days.
The Tic Tac encounter.
Fighter.
In 2023, a commercial passenger captured a sleek oval object cruising alongside their aircraft at high altitude. This civilian sighting gained massive credibility when leaked military data confirmed a Tic Tac-shaped craft in the same airspace. A fighter pilot's audio reveals his shock as the object performed physics-defying maneuvers.
All four of us, because we were F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down a small, saw a white Tic Tac moving very abruptly over the water like a ping pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wing.
To stopping dead in midair before accelerating at speeds that would crush any human pilot. The tourist haunting. While exploring historic landmarks near Valparaiso back in 2009, a tourist vacation took a surreal turn. A classic disc-shaped UFO was captured gliding effortlessly across the bright sky.
Yeah,
what unsettled the witness most wasn't just the craft itself, but how at home it seemed in the environment, as if these sightings were a localized norm.
Why does it have a smoke trail?
This ordinary sightseeing trip was instantly transformed into a lifelong memory of a technology that shouldn't exist.
Looks like something's leaking.
The atmospheric exit. Leaked by an anonymous uploader, this footage purportedly shows an extraterrestrial craft making its final departure from Earth. The clip features a high-velocity object piercing through the upper atmosphere with impossible ease. While officials attempted to hand-wave the incident as a satellite launch, analysts note that the craft's design and trajectory shares zero characteristics with human rocketry, and it appears to be a vessel built specifically for seamless transatmospheric travel.
Yeah, and how would you know?
I know.
The field control.
How would you know this?
In 2007, a witness in a remote rural area near Canton encountered a massive flying saucer hovering just inches above the grass. The craft didn't behave like a malfunctioning drone. It moved with a chillingly methodical grid search pattern, as if surveying the land for something specific. After finishing its scan, the silent giant ascended and vanished into the clouds at hypersonic speeds. The Austin Mothership. Austin became the site of a massive aerial mystery in 2020.
I know what that is.
A tourist filmed a colossal, silent mothership suspended over the city,
there was something
featuring
that
a
was
complex
going on
array
that
of
day.
pulsing lights that seemed to be transmitting a coded signal.
Austin. I can't say
As the camera rolled, two smaller scout ships were seen returning to the main craft. Docking seamlessly before the entire formation blinked out of existence, it was a masterclass in surveillance and extraction, executed right over a major population center. The Sky Sentinel. This footage, reportedly filmed over France in 2025, shows what investigators call a flying humanoid. The posture is vertical and upright, suspended in the clouds like a dark sentinel. While skeptics suggest a man on a jetpack, witnesses report the figure as being dead silent. No roar of engines, no heat exhaust, just a shadow defying gravity. It remains a silent observer in the high atmosphere, watching the world below. The Highway Tracker. When this footage comes from near Anaheim, you might initially dismiss it as a reflection, but the physics tell a different story. The witness reported that this object wasn't just hovering, it was tracking. For miles, this dark cylindrical shadow matched the vehicle's speed perfectly. If the car sped up, it stayed parallel. If they slowed down, it waited. With no wings for aerodynamics and no engine exhaust, It was a silent observer locked onto a target moving at highway speeds. The New Mexico anomaly.
Okay.
About 50 miles south of Lamy, a bright at a rocket launch. Witnesses say this location isn't within visible range, and the object's movement leaned northwest, not east like most masked observer.
Where's that?
In 2024, residents near Natal, Brazil, witnessed a dark, illuminated object drifting through the clouds. Initially dismissed as a kite, a second high-definition video revealed a much darker reality. The object moved with a steady, computerized precision, leading many to believe it was using a low-tech silhouette as a form of visual camouflage. This tactical disguise worked perfectly, vanished into thin air, leaving behind an unsolved cold case. 16 years later, he reappeared as if no time had passed. Carrying a piece of years later, he reappeared as if no time near Rosarito, vanished into thin air. Tactical disguise worked perfectly until it was caught. The 16-year mystery. In 2008, a tourist near Rosarito vanished into thin air, leaving behind an unsolved cold case. 16 years later, he reappeared as if no time had passed, carrying a piece of evidence that shocked the world. Footage of a glowing triangular UFO he recorded the night he went missing. The man has no memory of the last decade and a half, leading investigators to believe his disappearance wasn't a kidnapping by humans, but a 16-year-long encounter with the pilots of that craft. The Australian fragment. During routine mining operations in the outback near Alice Springs, workers discovered a smoldering fragment of unknown origin. Initial footage shows a metallic structure that looks grown rather than manufactured. While authorities were quick to seize the object, the subsequent total media blackout has only fueled theories that this fragment is a piece of highly advanced off-world technology that the government is desperate to reverse engineer.
It looks like aluminum foil.
Yeah. He came up the back of a John Deere tractor.
We're Phoenix Energy, a family-owned oil company focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana.
Oh wait, we get tossed for that.
Unnatural
but we get tossed for wampa wampa on your head. I mean, give me a break. Wait, Jane, you know what? I was digging for it. Let me see. Hold on. The first of the great ships. Dun.
That's the Nimitz.
That's the Nimitz right there. That's the Nimitz.
Put up the Independence, dude.
Independent is also fairly large.
The Independence is a lot smaller than the Nimitz, dude.
Yeah, still a fairly large machine. I mean, you're talking a floating city. You're still talking a floating city.
Compared to Nimitz and the Independence, it's a big difference. It's like a frigate up against a guided missile cruiser, dude.
And see this picture right here? This is actually a real picture. This is after they'd pulled all the crew off, and then they decided, oh, well, we'll put you back in service, baby. You don't get to retire yet. Just because you're 50 years old don't mean you get to retire. Back to killing people you go. What is this? No, that's a short, but that's an effed up picture right there. Ooh, who are these two sailing by each other? Now, you know, when you see them sailing into your harbor, you're fixing to die. I mean, you should just know when you see them, you're gonna die, man. God, if you see that, you already know you're dead.
Yep. Do you have the Independence, Joe?
Let me look and see. Damn science is getting a little crazy.
That was like a really.
Since we're talking Nimitz and Independence, what do we got? What do we got going on in the Gulf? Are they?
Nothing.
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 It's not open either. Yeah.
Nothing. It's same old shit, different day.
Yeah. It's in the pizza pie. Jambalaya pizza pie. I don't know. It's there should be more, but I think everybody's out of missiles.
CV-62.
You know, I think everybody's out of missiles. No, I'm serious, John. I think everybody's out of damn missiles.
Even us? I don't think we are.
Yeah, they said that not Caribbean Command, Middle Eastern Command was out of missiles.
Huh.
They'd have to get them from West Pacific or one of the other commands. Well, we've been selling all that shit. We've been selling all that shit to
Israel?
To fuck the one fighting the Russians, the Ukraine. We sell a buttload of missiles to the Ukraine. Yeah, that's her.
That's her right there.
Son of a bitch.
Give me a drink.
There she goes.
Yep.
62.
One little torpedo. She sunk.
Yeah,
look, Jay, look at that picture. Look at that picture compared to the Nimitz.
Yes, it's smaller, but it's still it's a capital ship.
It's a capital ship.
Enormous.
So this would be further back.
I mean, how many people operate that thing? 3,000 or 4,000 people at least, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
Nimitz
not
is
like
6,
the Nimitz that
people,
carry about 5,000 to 7,000.
Yeah.
Now you can put the schooner on top of the deck.
Yeah, you could.
Go sailing along with it. Oh, look, she's got a little submarine with her.
Yep. Look at it. I love that ship. I really did.
That's a good ship. No, Jimmy, it's retired now, my friend. Yeah.
Yep.
No, Nimitz isn't. I think Nimitz is going to be the first Nimitz class to retire. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Turned into razor blades.
It's well, usually what we do with stuff like the Enterprise, and then we pull the reactors and then we sell them to a company for $1. And then they take them and strip them down
Carrie.
of all the milk.
Carrie, the Independence had about 5,000 people on it. No shit. True.
Yeah, so did the Nimitz. Takes a lot of people to take care of a city, man.
Did you ever have smokers on your ship?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. There's so much about that shit I don't remember anymore.
No. We had 26 ships in our escort, and
you mean them oiler thingies, man? No,
that they had in the hangar bay. They set up 3 boxing rings, and each ship brought over 2 boxers, and they had smokers all day and all night.
Yeah, they banned that shit for some reason. Or it might have just been our captain. You never know. He might have been approved like
we
that.
We also had 3-on-3 tournaments because they set up like 5 basketball court, 3-on-3.
They got to do something. They got to do something when we're not in combat or working at being in combat. You got to have something to do to keep your mind busy.
Dude, did you ever have a Steel Beach picnic?
Well, we had I guess it would be like the equivalent to one where we broke out everything on the deck and basically
they brought beer on. We saw them load beer onto the ship, the Indy, and it was guarded by 2 Marines. No lie.
Yeah, because somebody get hold of that shit and drink
it.
But
you know what was sad about that, Joe? Here's what was sad. Guys actually gave up their paychecks for the 2 beers because you were allotted 2 beers. And some guys gave up their paychecks for 2 beers. It was terrible.
Yeah. Keep your damn 2 beers for a paycheck, buddy. Pretty soon we'll be going on shore leave sooner or later. Jack, what do you mean? No, so with the Nimitz, we never really ported per se and went on shore leave. We usually got flown off the ship on shore leave. Yeah, she didn't port as much as people think she did. Well, you really don't want to have your aircraft carrier in a port somewhere, sitting there unarmed with no crew and no fighter jets.
Yeah, 3,000. Look at that, 3,000 people on the Indy. Wow.
Yeah.
But those were the old. That was the old one. That was with the Enterprise. Not
Yeah,
the
those are the
Enterprise.
old. Yeah, the new. I mean, the
The
one
old
you're
ones.
on probably, Sean, was probably up to around 4,000 or 5,000. The one that the Nimitz is probably closer to 6,500, 7,000 total full crew, full running crew.
Yeah, when I was on board, the Nimitz had 5,500 people on board, and the Navy was planning on downsizing from that point, crew wise.
I remember that.
So, like the Zimwalts have a third of the crew of the old destroyers, because so much stuff is automated now. So they started doing that with carriers and stuff like that. But there's just some equipment that can't be automated. You've got to have people there in case something goes foo-foo. You know, something goes on the craze. No, Jay, I mean things don't always go the way it's supposed to on us. No, when you're at sea on a ship, even under normal conditions, things go crazy. We were sailing. We were actually getting ready to go on take 2 weeks off, and we were steaming towards this island in the Pacific. I still remember this. We cruising along, and I remember the ship felt weird. I was trying to go to sleep, and I was like, "Damn it! It feels it's vibrating weird or something." And so I got up and I walked up to the conning captain. I said, "What the hell's going on?" He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "There's something screwy with the ship." And the chief calls up from the reactor room. He says, I'm starting to feel a little shimmy through the system. He said, "I think we're going to have to shut it down and see what's going on." So we're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and we just shut our reactor down. And we are now free floating in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And because we're now heaving hoeing with the currents, all the ships bound with us had to be X amount of distance away. So there was no accidental collisions while we were heaving hoeing around in the water. Come to find out, it was like an $8 shim. Just went bad. When it was installed, somebody nicked it or something, and it went bad. It was a whole 48 hours to pull that little shim out of there and put a new one in. I was just glad it was not electronics. I didn't want to have to hear about it. Yeah, shit just went wrong, and they just got a lot of stuff that can go wrong. And today they're even more sophisticated. Now they don't need as much crew now. And yes, the rail guns are successful, but for some reason the Navy's not a big deploying them. They keep saying they are, but then they change their mind and put new hypersonic missiles on instead. Well, what I don't understand is just put two hypersonic missile launches in the front and 2 turrets in the back and have both rail guns and hypersonic missiles. Because now the ammunition is going to be cheap for rail guns. They're figuring out how to make it cheap now. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It is possible there could be a California governor. Right now, it's a.
You mean a Republican? Of course, there's going to be a California governor, but you mean Republican?
Republican governor in California. Yes, that makes more sense.
I would hope they're going to have a California governor for the state of California. It'd be kind of strange if they had the Nevada governor. I would think,
Fat Boy Christie might run. You never know and when.
Wait, whoa! Donut Boy Chris Christie is going to run for California governor.
Yeah, that would be good. Let him.
But how can he? He hasn't even been residency there.
We don't know that. He might have a secret residency there that he keeps.
Oh, that's right. He has a mailing address at the Dunkin' Donuts corporate headquarters there in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Oh, I hate. I'm thinking that might be in. I'm thinking that might be in Florida. Where the hell is Krispy Kreme at? It's somewhere in the South, I think, but I can't remember where. I'd have to ask somebody. Well, what do you mean? It's limited.
Krispy Kreme donuts suck.
They're not as good as other ones, and they're different now than they were when we were kids. See, when I was a kid, a Krispy Kreme donut was big around as my fucking hand, and it wasn't completely covered in sugar. It was only sugared on the top, glazed on the top, and they were always really good and really soft donuts. But as they got smaller and nastier, I don't know. They're just nasty. I don't eat them. Plus, they're small. They're like $14 a dozen. I'm like, keep your damn donuts. I'll eat something else. Besides, Tasty makes pretty good donuts. McKinsey makes pretty good donuts. They make the old school, thicker donuts. You know what, Frank? I did write that on the thing. What is your favorite when you're doing a UFO stakeout or a paranormal stakeout? What is your favorite snack food?
We don't do snack food. Here's my thing. After an investigation, I go and I get chocolate chip pancakes. That's what I eat.
There you go. We got a Krispy Kreme half an hour in either direction from us. One in Gulfport and one in Slidell, I think.
Slidell, Louisiana.
Yeah, Slidell.
Down that way.
Slidell, Louisiana.
John Arthur Hayes, good friend of mine. Excellent musician.
Some
Very
of the
good
best
artist as well.
Some of the best alligator footage I got comes from right by there, and what's it called? Shit, now I forgot the name of it. Get the little castle there and everything. Damn, I can't think of the name of it. Just a little bitty town. It's a cool little place. It's but man, you get a lot of little swamp back up there. You can sit up and they got all these different national parks back there, and you can sit there. There's gators everywhere, and they like to smile for you and stuff. They come swimming up to the dock. You got to be careful, really. It's a little crazy. Don't bring any kids or any small pets with you. They might think you were bringing snacks along. Jamie, people are stupid when it comes to animals. I have seen UFOs. Yes, I have. And, well, let's clarify. Unidentified flying objects, everybody's seen. Alien spacecraft, on the other hand, that's something different. I've seen a few things along the way that's been very weird. And I've been fortunate enough in some cases to have witnesses with me to what actually went on. Well, when we first started found it, I rule about take as many people with you as you could. Well, because you never knew what you were going to run into.
Well, and the main thing is not everybody is going to see, if whatever is there is real, everybody will see the same thing. If it's not real, in other words, if people are having hallucinations, no one will describe the exact same thing the exact same way. So you'll know it is not real. But if multiple people describe the same thing and have been separated properly by investigators, and details are shared across those descriptions, that verifies. It's what they call corroborative evidence. Without that, you cannot verify.
There's a lot that goes on in these cases, and because someone might see an extraterrestrial or not see an extraterrestrial or experience something extraterrestrial. Sometimes it may be real, sometimes it may be something else. Well, we've got a friend named Jeffrey Pritchett. He likes to dress up like aliens. Yes, and abduct weird creatures and bring them home. Yeah, weird creatures, like those things you read back from in the day, the weird people that ran around and abducted people. He's their abductor. Yeah, scary. That's probably why he hosts the Church of Mavis. What's the matter, Dean? Yeah, it's like a Krispy Kreme. There you go. Jeffrey's a Krispy Kreme. Okay. I don't think I've ever heard him called that. And all the time
I haven't either.
That's a new one. But next time I see Jeffrey, I will tell him he's been called a Krispy Kreme. I mean, what do you mean by that? Like, is he sweet and creamy, or is he crispy and ornery, or is he corny and weird?
You guys are getting sick.
I'm just curious, man. I mean, you call somebody a Krispy Kreme donut, I wonder what the hell you're talking about. If it was a girl, I'd be like, okay, well, that makes sense. But if it's a guy, yeah, I'm getting worried. Anyway. Yeah, he's on Friday nights on Church of Mavis, just before News on the Flip Side. Yes. No, I've told him before he can't get naked, so don't ask. Michelle frowns on that shit. Unless it's Sean, and then she don't care.
Oh, no, she loves me.
Santa Claus can get away with anything.
She loves me. Michelle
She's
loves
like,
me.
he's ho-ho, man, so he can get away with it.
That's right, because I'm sexy, and I know it.
Don't even play no music. No, we're getting ready to go because we got Whispers coming up.
Don't whistle at night.
Oh, sorry. Don't whistle at night. I'm thinking of Whispers Radio, a whole different show on a whole different network way back in the day. And actually, I believe they were in Wheeler, North Carolina, South Carolina, somewhere around there. One of the Carolinas. Wherever Wheeler was. And they had a good little show. It was a paranormal show. It was a good show, yeah. A lot of fun. They were goofy. Last time I heard, they were both getting married and having babies, so they had to get out of radio business. It didn't make enough money. Babies are expensive, man. Jay will tell you, he's got like 3 on the way.
I think, in the for our generation, the cost of raising one of us through 60s, 70s, 80s probably was up around $1 million, $1.5 million. I think nowadays it's probably closer to $2 or $3 million per child to raise till 18.
Down with those demons, down with the demon spawn, down with the demon spawn. Gene, you should ask me at the beginning of the show because Europe is an involved conversation. And yes, they are in deep shit. Financially, they're in deep shit. Militarily, they're in deep shit. Donald Trump, they're in deep shit. They're just in deep shit. And they just proved to the whole world that they couldn't even send a fucking ship to, what is it, Diego Garcia? How long it's been now? 2 months?
At least, maybe 3. I mean, when did we start sending stuff there? Like the end of February.
So their island was under attack, basically, and they still haven't sent a ship there. And France keeps talking about how they're going to do something, but France, that's always been France, is too much mouth and not enough ass. Well, we seen his wife slap the shit out of the little bitch. How do you go on a world stage and try to be manly when your wife bitch slaps you for the whole world to see? I mean, really. And she's not even Michelle. At least Michael's got some balls to her, Oh, you notice Candace Owens don't talk about her anymore. Candace got sued for acting stupid. And who else got sued? Tucker Carlson's getting sued. Because they all got off on this crazy rampage. They got derailed like Marjorie Taylor Greene on Trump, and they got derangement syndrome. Now you get derangement syndrome, it usually gets you. Well, we didn't even get to talk about the economy. The economy report was so good that the guy at CNN didn't even know what to say. He was stuttering the whole time. Like, shit, man. How's this going to hurt Trump? This ain't going to hurt Trump. Yeah, no. But we got to go.
Yeah.
Jay's got to deal with his new children he has.
And I got to work tomorrow to make money to feed all of them.
Good night, everybody. I got to get going here. I have to talk to my guests.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, be good.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah, Sean, you got to work tomorrow too, yeah? Bright and early, 6 a.m.?
No, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock? Oh, you're lucky. You can sleep in. So I got to be up at 6 a.m. Well, I got to be up at 4:30 to be at work at 6.
Night, Kevin. Oh, my gosh. So, good night, everybody. Don't forget, I'm on tomorrow night, 8:10 to 10:10 p.m. on Into the Night, the show that Joe doesn't know about. So
yes, the show where they address mental illness on a pole dance.
You know it, man. And
you got to
tell you right now, guys, ladies and gents out there in the world and in the chat, and please share it. I am not going to pole dance tomorrow night.
Oh man, your ratings just went down by half, man. Damn.
Okay, I'll pole dance. I'll get a pole and we'll dance.
He might as well have said he was a Democrat.
Shut up.
Just kidding. Anyway, we gotta get.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, be sure to check out Into the Night tomorrow night and let me know how it goes. Keep Sean out of trouble. I gotta watch and keep him out of trouble.
No, Papa Smurf.
I am going to. It's like Gargamel, actually. But anyway, we'll talk about that another night.
Yeah.
Well, or you know what? No, he's too nice to be Mr. Magoo. Mr. Magoo was a doofus, but and he'd probably be for all of y'all's times, but maybe.
Sean almost ruined my day tomorrow.
Yeah. Stay out of trouble, people. Relax. Well, I'm gonna try to actually sleep for a change. But anyway, Nice having y'all all tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. Of course, if you didn't, you can always write to Michelle. She loves to hear from y'all. For the rest of us, we're getting out of here. Be sure to check out Don't Whisper at Night. It'll be on in like 6 minutes, so check them out. Let us know how you think.
Don't whistle at night, right?
Don't whistle at night.
I said whisper again. Man, I'm stuck in this whisper word. Yeah, I'm stuck in this whisper thing. Anyway, y'all check out the show. It'll be on in a few minutes. Don't Whistle at Night. Yes.
Good night.
We whistle all the time at night because we're weirdos. Yes. There's going to be some danger out there. Anyway, good night, everybody.
Good night. Good night.